Pontificators live, ladies and gentlemen. We have Charlie Schnogans with us, and we only have Charlie for about 10 minutes, so we're gonna have to make this really fast. And we have Joe Thunderbuns here, so I think we're gonna let Charlie talk about Fatal. It's taking the world by storm, and we're gonna get into that real quick and see how much we can get in before Charlie has to leave us. How you doing, Charlie?
I am fantastic. I'm a little tired. It's a little difficult to draw and then talk and then draw and then talk and respond to people on through social media. I'm not a social media type person. I don't want to be out there arguing. So far, I'm not arguing with anybody, and nobody has thankfully come after me in any sort of anti-comics gateway. I'm ready. I've seen it happen to Clint. I've seen Clint deal with it and have to debate people. What's the debate? What's the debate?
Did you see they went after me a couple of weeks ago? Even Patton Oswalt took a shot at me. Yeah.
Why? He's a nice. Here, is it all after 2016, or was it ever before that, Art?
I think the world went. I think with the Obama, there was they thought that they were invincible, right? So they had the 8 years, and they thought it was always going to be that way. So then when Trump came in, it blew everybody's mind. So I think
it blew their minds apart.
Right, and they're still reeling from it, and so now we have an election year. We're months away, and I think they're just ramping up, right?
I don't know what they're ramping up or they're ramping down. I didn't think this hysteria would last this long. I voted for Gary Johnson. I was the one guy.
You triggered me.
and after I saw people protesting, I was thinking, now I'm starting to wish I voted for Trump. These people look nuts. He got all the right people angry. What is this craziness in the street? I thought it would last a few months, and then it's just continued and gotten weirder and stranger and stranger. Mailboxes? Yeah. Mailboxes? Are you all out of your minds? I can't even look at news. It's so silly.
Yeah, it's funny because like all of our lives, right? We've created fiction. We just made up stories and stuff like that. And the stuff that's happening now, it seems made up. It doesn't seem real at all.
It does seem made up. There's no way you could have. There's nobody creative enough to have envisioned this weirdness.
Yeah. These are, and it's weird because I love sci-fi, and like sci-fi at its best is like cautionary tales, right? And so I'm thinking, most of the people that are losing their minds are sci-fi, comic book sci-fi fans. And didn't you read any of these like Philip K. Dick novels? Didn't you read? These were all cautionary tales. These are all like, watch out for this. And they're buying right into all this stuff.
I every day I listen to Scott Adams. I think he's very interesting mind. He likes sci-fi too, and he keeps running into this problem. He's saying artists always come at him in the same way to the point where they're attacking him because he predicted Trump would win, whatever years ago, and then every day he says he gets attacked in a completely irrational manner, not paying attention to any facts or anything, and he's come to the conclusion that it's always artists. It's writers and artists, and for whatever reason, so we're in that category, but we avoid being completely irrational. But he's noticed it. So I mean, I know I've heard you tell your story about you being chased at a Marvel or whatever it was, and Ethan's has his story. There's an irrational. So I know Dan DiDio wasn't quite totally irrational. I don't know how irrational Quesada is. Because they're not. If you're just an artist and you're just going to be about emotions and channeling your emotions into a craft, then you're not spending a lot of time being a rational person, right?
Right. Well, I always thought like the way I look at my career and being a creative person, I have one foot in fantasy, and then I have one foot in reality, right? Because you can't have too much of one and not enough of the other, right? Like it's a balancing act. So you can't be too indulgent in the fantasy aspect because it'll take over your life. look at this room is filled with like kid stuff. It's like a toy, store in here. You know what I mean? But outside of this room, it's normal. My whole life is completely normal. You know what I mean? No, I mean, Joe was just here over the last weekend. By the way, Joe, Pamela wants to say hi.
Hey, Joe.
Hi, Pamela. Long time no see.
I know. Hey, I wanted to say your kids are fearless.
Yeah,
look. Yeah, thank you.
Pete, they got into that pool. You guys should have seen these little guys. They got up 5.5 feet on a wall and then would leap down to 6.5 feet deep of water.
Charlie, we have a rock pool. So like one of the sides is it's a sheer rock, right? So the little thunder buns are like scaling the rock, right? They got like fingers of steel, and they're just and they're climbing up this thing, and then they're like Tarzan. They're just leaping off this there's like a little like platform area. It's just a bigger rock, and they're just like leaping off this stuff. And I think like your daughter was like, "I'm gonna do a backflip." And I'm like,
yeah.
"Oh, don't do it."
Yeah, we had to talk her out of it.
Yeah.
Fearless, Joe. I was so amazed watching them, and it made my heart feel good that they had so much fun with that silly pool.
Oh, yeah. I'm really happy to hear that. They were looking forward to it for 2 weeks, and they just couldn't believe it. And then when we got there, they had such a good time.
Well, they were straight at the water, man. Like, whoa!
And I think we lost about 1/3 of the water with the cannonball competition. So
anyway, I just wanted to say I thought they were awesome doing that. Just the fearlessness of them. I was amazed.
Yeah,
well,
we had a good time.
They fell in love with you guys. So thanks again for hosting us. We had a blast.
Yeah, no problem. I think we got Zach. Let's see. Let's add Zach. Zach Slacker, what's up?
What's up? I'm slacking. I got to get my webcam in the place so you can see my face.
So Zach, Charlie, Zach draws a book called Goma, and it's really, really cool. And they're shaking, right?
Oh god. Wait, hold on. I think I got it. Yeah.
Hey.
High five.
Oh wait. There we go.
Nice to meet you.
Pretty damn good. Yeah, and Charlie has he's working with Clint Stoker on this book. I don't know if you heard of it. It's called Fatal. And
I was backer number 3. I was literally sitting there refreshing, waiting for it to drop because Clint was like, "We're gonna." He was talking to Ethan, and he was all, "We're gonna do the thing at round 12." And I was like, "Okay, I got the page up. I'm ready." And every like minute, I would refresh, and as soon as it dropped, I was like, "Oh crap! I gotta buy this." No,
number 3. Thank you.
As soon as Clint showed your art, Charlie, I was like, I need this in my life. I can't not have it. I can't not have this.
Yeah, Charlie's really good. I'm gonna back the color and black and white combo because I want that uninterrupted black and white art. Even though it's digital, Charlie, I still love your work, man. I mean, you make the digital look practical, and that's not easy to do.
Well, thank you very much. I take great pains to make it look that way, and it is painful.
With the hatching and all the dry brushing and all that.
And it is pains. I think you're certainly older than me. I was looking at your drawings when I was a kid. Now sitting at the table, my back hurts. So I raise the table up, and I spend most of the day standing at it now. But then my feet start to hurt, as much as if I was a lunch lady, standing ladling up Sloppy Joe all day. Do you all remember Sloppy Joe? Sloppy Joe. Not the greatest record.
My drawing board is set really, really high, and what I have is like a little ottoman, so I can set my feet up on it. So I can kind of adjust, so I can sit straight up and down like this, and then I got like a little thing that I can prop up my feet on, and it seems to work pretty good. And then I have this little bad boy, and I have it back. Yeah, it works like it's really, really soft. It works perfectly. So yeah, you have to watch out for your back. I know. I always have these conversations with Scott Williams, Inker Supreme Scott Williams, and he complains about his back all the time. And I did a live stream, or I think I posted, got a brand new chair, and my back feels great. And he's like, "What kind of chair did you get? I need to know. Like, how does this work? Because my back is always in pain." And I was like, well, I can tell you, but I don't know if it's going to work the same for you. Everybody's looking for the miracle chair, right?
Anything, man. If I could I lay down and do my work? Does that work? Is that possible?
I think if you're working digital, you can, right?
Can I be upside down in some sort of a reclining spine decompression chair while I hang upside down like a bat and I'll work this way? Or like
I think all you need is a clip for your screen. So you could clip it to something, and you could just. But I think your arm would end up. You get like bursitis here in your shoulder. You have something to hold up your elbow, and you just move your hand.
Speaking of doing great work, there's a question from the chat. Mighty Joe asked, "What's the stretch goal for getting the artist edition printed at 11x17?"
Ooh, I don't. Well, we'll have to. Clint is handling all the prints. He's done it twice before, super successfully. So I mean, thank you, Mr. CJ. Let me say shalom, aloha, and aloha shalom is the preferred response.
Shalom.
Shalom ha.
If we could do it 11x17 at a reasonable printing, I think it's the shipping that we're running into the questions with. If we're gonna make that a stretch goal, that would be a fine stretch goal to make, so that we're sending out instead of the whatever. What's the size of the final printed thing? Is it 10.5 by 7? What is the comic book size? Does anybody know? How long has it been doing this art?
It's this size right here.
Yeah, I think it's like 6.25 by 10 and a half inches.
20.5?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
So if we can blow it up to 11x17, we'll be thrilled to do it.
Yeah, as soon as you do that, you'll have another backer, because I love those. Sean Gordon Murphy did one 11x17 black and white, and it was gorgeous. And I think your work would definitely rock in that kind of format. I eventually want to do something like that, but I want to do some kind of ink work. I like the ink work that I'm doing, but I think I would have to not think about color and just ink the hell out of it if I was going to do it 11x17, just black and white artwork.
I would love to see it. There's another person in my house that would love to see it, because today I read through it first, just sort of checking that it was okay. Art, you made a great book. It's good for all ages. And after we read some of the pages, my son spent his time making the yin yangs for black and white. And as he was drawing them, he said, I've seen this somewhere before. And I said, oh yeah, where? And he said, in a movie, Mulan. We just watched Mulan, and it was in Mulan. And they had it in half. And the guy took one half, and the girl took the other half. And I said, right, look at the cover of Art's book. And he said, there's a guy and a girl. And he was,
man. Put it together. Yeah. And if you guys, this is the logo right here.
Very clever to put that in the target, man. And as I was reading, I was thinking, this is good writing. Of course I'm enjoying the art. That's all I looked at first. I'm enjoying the art. And then we started reading it today, and I'm enjoying it's in the Chinese brewery. And I'm thinking, who sets it in a brewery in China? Have you ever drank with Asians? They get drunk fast. I spend a lot of my early years drinking with Asians. They get red and super drunk. And I'm enjoying it. And then I started to think, who wrote this? This is very clever. And I look at the front. Art, you wrote it too.
Yeah. I so want to make, just get some kind of bottling company, and I want to do the White Song logo, and do my own beer, like a White Song Brewery beer. Yeah. But I was thinking we could probably do it, but how do you ship it? I don't know if you can ship alcohol You know, I don't know if there's some kind of restrictions or whatever.
I listen to Adam Carolla's show every day, and to hear him, he used to talk. He started shipping mangria because sangria was for women.
Yeah,
he started shipping mangria, and I bought some bottles. They're delicious. You get hammered, and but he used
you
to
don't
talk
even
about,
know it, right? Yeah,
yeah, because it's fruity and super alcoholic. But he would talk about there's so many rules and regulations with shipping booze that I don't think they do it anymore, because you just get stomped out of the market with trying to keep up with all these things. Just
that's what I was
Art, just continue with Thunder Buns and brewing that moonshine, because that's what everybody really wants. You look
White
like a
lightning,
moonshine
baby.
maker.
for the Comicsgate convention. I'll have some 6-packs made, and then I'll bring them. I'll fly with them and give them out. Have a beer.
That'd be awesome.
Yeah,
With the black and white logo on it.
Yeah, with the little crosshairs on there. Yeah. Your kid's very clever. That's awesome. They figured it out. Well, we only have Charlie for a little bit of time, so I want to share his campaign, which is it's heating up right now, man. You guys, I think you're finishing up day 1, right?
We're just at the end of day 1 here. What do we have? Our 24 hours is up. It now says 29 days left. The clock is ticking.
Okay. So you guys are pushing. You guys are pushing 30K right now. You probably had that by night's end. 476 backers. Holy crap! And it's only been your first 24 hours. This is amazing.
Salute, as we say. It's very exciting to roll something out and share art with people. And if everybody's as excited as I am, then people are excited. Then it's thrilling to do, man. And Clint's the artwork gets attention because it's out there. That's how you grab somebody's eye. Here's a flashy laser. Here's a guy with muscles. Here's a pretty girl. Here's a mean lizard. And in the meantime, Clint is writing a spectacular book with dialogue that's making these characters really come to life. The conversations between what you're seeing on the screen that's Fatal Flynn. He's our intergalactic exterminator. He's fantastic at his job, but he might be a little slovenly. And he gets called in to do the job, and if you've all ever worked other jobs, I'm assuming you have at some point. You've worked with, or you were the sort of day-to-day working Joe who maybe goes job to job smoking cigarettes. Your van doesn't smell too good. There might be a coffee cup rattling around on the floor by the seat. And when you get the call, you roll into where you got to go, and sometimes you show up at the people's door and you stink a little bit. Did you ever notice a lot of times the cable guy, the plumbers, they're ex-cons. They've been around the block, and that's kind of this kind of guy, or the guy that says, it's really great. I got a new vending machine business on the side. It's fantastic. I'm getting pulled in to do these different jobs. Wait till you see the cash I'm making with the vending machines, and you think, hey, I'll back up a few feet. You stink. That's the kind of guy he is, and so he gets called in for this job.
In right with the chronomechanics, because the chronomechanics, I always say it's like the super fantastic meets the mundane. It's their pain in the ass job to fix time. So they're just like working Joes that get to see all the secrets of the universe. But to them, it's just their pain in the ass job. You know what I mean? They're not like, whoa, look at this. Wow, that's cool. They're just like, yeah, whatever. I can't wait to get home. Crack open a cold one.
Exactly. And they're tough guys. They could break a finger, something lands on your toe, you just keep rolling. And he's kind of in that world. He's living out there in the world. And meanwhile, in this opulent tower, the Gilded Cage, so to speak, young Moxie there on the left is there in her red racing suit and black jacket. And there'll be a page. I'm finishing the colors on it. We want to put them in between those two. where she's looking out the window and longingly at this event out in the sky in low orbit. And she turns to her friend across the room, her lady's maid, her protector, her bodyguard, and says, "Kit, we gotta go. Look what's happening outside. This party's boring. This is boring." But Kit wants to stay in the lap of luxury, in the opulence and the beauty, and enjoy the splendor, because she doesn't come from that world. And she knows what's outside those doors. And she looks at the young lady, Moxie, and says, "Just take it easy. Why would we go out there?" I wish Clinton has the dialogue is beautiful. It's concise. Clint has it. So
I like you have the cute, energetic one, you know, and then you have, is that Moxie? And then you have
Moxie's cute and
Kid, and then
remember
you have
the old saying, "You got Moxie, kid. You got Moxie."
Exactly. And then you have the, you know, like the sophisticated one. You know, she's been there, done that. You know, she's more worldly.
Yeah, and she's seen it all. She'd rather be at the party. There's nothing out there for you, Mox. There's nothing out there. But Mox is going to keep agitating. She's going to keep pushing. She's going to bound through this beautiful party where people are semi-attached to their personal devices that have slight intoxicants, something that makes you feel good, something that makes you forget, something that entertains you a little bit. Those are those little floating drones over the head. They're certainly too small to see there. And they're all wired up with that.
Though, this has been bugging me since I looked at your campaign yesterday. There's like these explosions outside the window. What are those? Are those just normal things that happen day to day, or is this something that's life-shattering?
Here, I could send you the page that comes right before that, so you get you can see a little glimpse, but it's not finished. There's maybe I'll send you the. Let me send you the black and white one. The color one is just not ready for prime time. Let's see here. Where is this black and white page? Yada yada yada. So yeah, outside those explosions, that is Fatal Flynn on the side of the floating barge, where he is dealing with this threat that he was called in for, and it was let's see here. There's the link. Let's see, that is there. Black and white page. Fatal process. Oop. Come on. Come here. Go to RT Bear. My son, by the way, wants you to go by the nickname ATB.
ATB.
He's we were saying yeah, we have a neighbor, their mother is French Canadian. I said, you know, just like she's a French Canadian, huh? Come and meet RT Bear, huh? He can punch you in the face, wear the gloves, and take gloves off and hit you. RT Bear? Yeah. Are you French Canadian?
Yeah. My dad's side, he's right from Canada. So they moved from Canada to Detroit, Michigan, and became an American citizen.
And then you passed John Malin and you went right to California?
He did, because the auto industry dried up when my dad was a kid, so they moved to California for opportunity. Yeah.
All right. So if you look in your DMs, I just sent you the black and white page of how there's two pages that are connected, where our hero there, Fatal Flynn, is on the side of this floating barge that's outside the city, and he's on the side and he's getting into trouble, and he calls in on his wrist communicator to his robot buddy up in the ship floating above, Eldridge. He says, "Eldridge, send in the missiles, airstrike." So there he is, hanging off the side, and on the top, in the middle of that image of this 2-page spread, he's shouting into the wrist communicator just as his helmet comes on. And in the top right, if you want to zoom in a little bit, there he is. He's on the side of the floating barge, and all the missiles are now converging on where he asked his drone to send them. And as all the missiles converge, we zoom past Fatal Flynn to the towers in that city behind them, where young Moxie is looking out the window, and her jaded old guardian would rather sit in the hot tub rejuvenation tube of blue energy and say, "We don't got to go out there. That is baloney. Nobody needs to go out there." And then it's these two girls go out to find this adventure, and he's out there always having it as this rough-hewn young go-getter that he goes
So
with the
he's
job.
already right in the middle of it. So I assume these missiles, they blow up these lizards that are jumping our hero, right? Is that what the explosions are then?
That's exactly it. We'll, in that sort of very black, cinematic shaped panel on the far left in color, you'll see it's a red. It's the top right, that first panel, the missiles are zeroing in on the hero as he's pushing back away from the barge.
Just in the nick of time.
Say what?
Just in the nick of time.
Just in the nick of time, and then the explosion happens, and that's what the girls are witnessing. The other aristocrats at the party can't be bothered even looking. They're so sophisticated. They don't even, what's this, what's that, don't care. And that's what you see in that in the 2-page spread where they're all gathered around, and the two girls.
People at the party be slightly inebriated too, right? Right, Charlie?
Yeah,
slightly. Damn.
Yeah, in a very inebriated way, in a euphoric way. They're getting their.
We have Chester. We have Chester joined us. We have Todd, and we have Jay in the
Jason Krieger.
Jason Krieger, yes.
Right.
Hammer.
It's hammer time.
I'm glad to see the beards are probably represented. Oh, except one. Oh.
Yeah, they're working on it.
Yeah,
okay.
The Massachusetts boy over here, he's a communist, so they don't wear beards. You know. I do apologize, Art. I've been trying to be quiet, not interfere with Charlie's rundown of that beautiful artwork, by the way. But I have to say, what the hell did you do to Joe?
He's got everything.
While you were gone, I grew my hair. What can I say?
Joe ordered some of that tonic that you put on your head, and you just kind of massage it in, and the hair just grows out like a chia pet.
I was going to say, you almost looked like an old girlfriend, but then the beard came into play.
Was she a Romanian girlfriend, Chester?
She was Lithuanian. Yeah, Lithuanian. Yeah.
She was a little hairy. Yeah.
Yeah. That is great art, though.
Yeah, we have Charlie just for a little bit of time, so I wanted to kind of focus on him because I think he's got another show to do in a bit. So I wanted to try to, get as much time with Charlie as I could. So let us know, Charlie, when you have...
Are these the pontificators?
Yes, these are the pontificators.
You should each have a pope hat, maybe, to be pure pontiff.
That's fair. Yeah.
I see Thunderbuns has his pope hat on.
He does.
You know what, Charlie? Don't give these knuckleheads any ideas.
Oh.
Especially Zach.
No, you got my gears grinding. Now I'm about to do something crazy.
Uh-oh. He's got one of those hats.
He probably does, dude. Yeah. Well, you got to remember early here in Comic Theater a couple of years ago, if you remember, one of the big things that was going on was the Pope Wars, right?
Mm-hmm.
In the chat. So Zach might be bringing back the Pope War times, maybe.
Either that, I was thinking like it's his early Halloween outfit for him and his wife. So his wife will be like a nun, and then he'll be the Pope.
Hey, that sounds kinky. Yeah.
That's hot.
No problem with that.
God damn.
There you go.
Forbidden love, south of the border, where I met her and church bells ring.
Charlie, you're doing the Fatal, right?
Yes, indeed, man. Yes, indeed. We.
You because I've seen that. Now, you are the writer or the artist?
I'm the artist, the young artist with the dream.
There you go. It's really good looking stuff, dude. Congratulations, man.
Yeah, and they've only been a day going, and you'll probably by night's end you'll have 30K. I bet you anything.
Nice.
So that's amazing for your first day and a half. That's really
very
great.
good.
It's
Yeah.
amazing.
This
I'm
is Indiegogo
thrilled,
or
man.
Kickstarter?
Indiegogo. Please let me consult the pontiff. There it is.
There we go.
Oh, there it is.
Yep.
There it is.
There we go.
There it is.
Yep.
His Popeness is upon us. Yeah.
That is the Pope's hat. Can you?
That's
Are you
amazing.
reading? Are you also getting readings from the Hubble telescope while you're wearing that?
No, I'm deflecting.
Oh, all right.
Attaboy.
Deflecting signals back. It's not coming down. It's
Yeah.
deflecting up.
Zach's
So it's-
losing our minds right now.
So it's more
Well,
the
he-
Alex Jones model.
Yes.
You guys are already up to 2.9 million yen. Awesome.
Well, you know what Zach does with that hat is he moonlights as a party guy. So he puts chips around the brim of it and guacamole in the middle.
There you go.
And he sings, "Nacho, Nacho, man.
Yeah, and then you just grab a chip
I want to be."
right into
I
his
swear it's a
lip.
sombrero. I swear.
I swear.
And whose beautiful hands place
That's my wife.
lovely
That's my wife.
chapeau on your head. She has
Yeah.
lovely hands. Lovely
Oh,
hands.
thank you. Everybody thinks you have lovely hands. You have lovely hands.
Is she a piano player?
No, actually, she does a little. She used to a lot, and then she decided that she had better things to do. But no, it's a disappointing story. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Most of
Yeah,
Zach's
that's all right.
stories end that way, Charlie.
Well, it's good to see someone other than Todd flirting with your wife, Zach. You know, it's an
Oh yeah,
improvement.
well, you saw her the other day, and you were like, "Whoa, what is she doing with you, man? You don't
Yeah,
deserve
no.
that."
It's a pretty
Yeah,
girl.
no.
That's for sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
Same story here, dude. My wife is way too pretty for me. That's fair.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Well, I'm
Yeah,
going to
it
ask
happens.
Joe out. I'm going to ask Joe out after we're done with the show tonight. 'Cause
I
he's
know.
Smoking.
He
Oh,
is
yeah.
smoking, baby. So I don't want to ask questions that have already been asked, Charlie, but can you give me because I just jumped in. Can you give me a very, very brief elevator pitch of what the story is?
Yeah, we've got a young hero on the move. His name is Fatal Flynn. He just goes by Flynn. And his business is Fatal Flynn's Alien Termination and Logistics. And he sort of just tools around the galaxy waiting to pick up the next distress call of who needs aliens taken care of. Essentially, he prevents invasions. He prevents alien infestations. And here he is on this planet here. And he's waiting in his ship up above as his drone partner Eldred tells him, "Flynn, you're one alone." He says, "We're waiting for the credits to clear," and the credits clear, and he goes down and he thinks it's going to be an easy job, and he's inspecting this barge that's floating outside of the city. And as he's inspecting the barge, he encounters one of these lizard creatures, and it turns out to be quickly finds out he's in way over his head. The battle mask has to come down. He calls in an airstrike from his ship that's floating up above, and as that explosion happens on the side, there's two lovely ladies watching from a tower behind him. See that red vehicle? If you want to go back up, that's the cover. There you go. See the red
okay.
vehicle? They're eventually going to commandeer that vehicle, and their adventures will align as Flynn is investigating and finding out that this infestation is a little trickier than he thought. It's not just getting rid of the cockroaches like he normally has to do. It's a little different than what he thought it was, and he needs the help of these two young ladies as they navigate this giant city below, and find out it's a little trickier than he thought. And
No, that's cool, dude.
is that an elevator pitch? Was that? Did I do it in
I
30
think
seconds?
so. No, you didn't, but that's all right. But I love the landscaping of the skyscaping and stuff. That's really cool. So it's kind of Adam Strange, Buck Rogers-esque type of story.
Yeah, indeed. There's our
That's cool.
alternate cover.
Yeah, those are good things.
Sheldon Martin in the chat said Flash Gordon meets V.
Yeah. Okay. There you go.
Yeah, maybe.
Interesting.
And
I
so
like
that
the
actually,
galactic, like alien, like Terminator. Like he's basically just like a bug exterminator, right? Like he goes in there and just cleans out infestations, and then goes to the galaxy.
That's at least his expectation. You could, and he finds out pretty quick, as you see in the top left panel. He's sort of getting tackled. He's underneath that thing, and he does a backwards roll and kicks it off of him as it comes to a skidding stop, and he flips up back right side, and then he goes to draw his blaster as the snarling beast gets ready to pounce on him, and it does pounce on him on the next page, and he finds himself underneath this snarling, dripping, grizzled, horrible creature. And he sees, I don't know if you could zoom in a little on his face, he's got this expression of, man, come on. And as it's drool and goo drips down on him, and he kicks it off of him, and shortly after this page is where he ends up over the side of the barge. There it is. There you can see the floating barge is on the left in that vertical panel, and there's another ship overhead. And he tosses, and he does a shoulder toss to get the beast off of him. He feels the full weight of how gross and sticky this thing is. He throws it off of him as he runs away, firing his blasters, and more of those things are dropping out of that ship above. And he, in the very bottom panel, he jumps over the edge of the thing as he tosses a little grenade back between his legs, and there it goes, exploding behind him.
Well, there's one I have, Charlie. I have one question for you. You guys, you and Clint Stoker managed to tap into something that I do have a story similar, because I like the dynamic. It's kind of like the Betty Veronica or like a Gwen Stacy or MJ. Like you have two hot chicks, and you have the one guy, and it's like, who's he gonna end up with?
Well, right. Any conflict has to be a triangle, right?
Right.
Any hero. So whether it's which love interest, whether it's my favorite love interest was when Belle had to choose between the werewolf and the vampire, right? You guys all agree that glittering vampires are the best? Or wait, no, is this the wrong market for that? I'm sorry. So whether it's love interests or what will the character do between the rock and the hard place in the choices they have to make, that's where the drama is, right? The conflict, this or this. So
I have to ask you too. I'm sorry, I only have you for a short period of time, so I have so many questions. Is he enhanced at all? Is Flynn enhanced? Because he kind of flips this thing. So does he have any strength?
There might be some hidden features in his physiology. Certainly, his name is Fatal Flynn, so he will keep getting into very damaged situations that he's oddly bounces back pretty well from. But he's very proud of the tech that he's tooling around with, and his buddy Eldridge. And once they get down on the planet, he will need the tech, and the girls will have to bring him to an underground tech dealer. And in fact, the only thing I was before Clint really sewed this into a much better package, because as I pitched it to Clint, I was saying, let's just call him Jack, and he's got to this is Jack's quest to get off the planet. And when we write the title, let's call it Jack's Quest to Get Off. So
I could be called simply Jack Off.
We'll call it Jack Off Planet. And Clint sort of said, if you want to end up in the smut aisle, you jackass. So we don't want to be in the smut aisle. We want to be in these, the PG to PG-13 section. You don't want people to search Jack Off Planet and not be able to find your book hidden beneath layers of Google smut. So
it would be pretty interesting to hear Clint, because Clint is such a sweet guy, to hear him talk about his new book, Jack Off.
Jack Off Planet.
This is Clint Stoker. I'm going to be talking about my new book, Jack Off.
So here's where this is in a separate section of the book where the tyrannical matriarch, she comes down a spiral staircase in the middle of that opulent party, and there in the top left there, the supplicant there begging, I thought I was doing the right thing. he's the one who sent out a distress signal to who would answer it. And a real tyrant punishes you whether you're doing the right thing. And sometimes they punish, well, you get punished if you do the wrong thing, but a real tyrant sometimes punishes you even if you do the right thing. And she opens up her cloak, and these serpents come out, and they approach him in the middle left there, panel 2, and then they start to encircle him in the middle panel as he's starting to realize as his eyes widen and he's horrified. Oh, I'm in more trouble than I thought. And she's in the very middle in that cinematic wide panel. She's sort of coldly watching. And in the bottom left, the serpents are spiraling all the way up, not unlike a caduceus, but a little, a little more threatening than the medical version. And they come up all the way around him. And she raises her hand, and then she makes the fist, and they crush the spirit out of this poor slob. And when you see the close-up in the black and white and we're in the color, both of his arms are breaking. He's screaming in agony. And these serpents are going to reduce him to a pile of mush, essentially. And and then the girls, they're going to have to deal with this lady because they're all in that same party.
That second to last panel there, the staging of that and the angle, I haven't seen dynamic layouts like that in decades. That thing is amazing. The staging.
Thank you, Artin. That is very kind of you to say. I spent a while on that, and after I drew it, I started to think, this is a pinup. This is a cover. What? This is this tiny panel. And I pulled it out, and I started to redraw it larger. So, I don't know, maybe a stretch goal of a pinup of Death by Python.
Yeah, and she is sexy, man. She's a sexy villainess.
And that previous page, the way you laid out those panels was so cool. I was trying to think of another comic where I had seen that before, and I couldn't think of one where it was like there was so much happening in those panels that they were coming off of the page, and that is a very cool effect.
Yeah, definitely. You inspire me, Charlie. I'm going to work harder now, thanks to you. Do you want to go over the tiers, or do you want to play the video? What do you want to do next? It's your show.
Let me judge his video, please.
Hear Clint's writing and hear Vaughn's voiceover, and then I'll exit and go talk to the Aussies.
Shall we give it a listen? I'm calling you because my planet is sick. Not the monarchy, not the royal guard, not a single person on the spinning rock seems to care. It started gradually. First, they got into our heads. By the time I realized something was wrong, by the time I woke up, they were already here. Things look perfect at first glance, but that's how invaders work. That's how the invasion starts. A slow boil. I'm calling you because I can't trust anyone here. You're off planet. You're a professional, and I'm afraid we might already be dead. Flynn, how shall I respond? It's a job. Let's do that.
Wow, that's amazing. That's so good.
It's not a bad trailer at all.
Okay, I'm going to hit refresh right now. So we're 27,555, 476 backers, 480. What's that?
Wait.
4 backers.
Thank you, Comicsgate.
Yeah. So let's hit these tiers. So your featured tier is the collector's bundle. So that's all 3 versions of the book plus the trading card set, right? And your name in the book.
You're talking to the wrong person now. The tears. I see the three books.
Yeah,
This
it's
is,
the three. Yeah, it's the 3 books with the artist edition, the variant cover, and the wraparound cover with. Is it 5 cards? 5-card trading set?
I don't know, but I know Malin was very excited that Clint innovated something about you get shipped first. So see that black car speeding off on the side there. If you back that perk, that means the books get shipped to whoever backs that. Gets preferential treatment, I suppose, and the books arrive first. Yeah, and
basically buys you a spot at the front of the fulfillment line, right?
Yes.
Perfect,
Yes,
perfect. So then we have, for 25, we have the main book, which is the wraparound cover, which is Killer Dealer. You have 280 of those claimed. You have the variant. How do you say Chaz's last name? Walgamont?
You got it, I think.
Yeah,
He's,
Walgamont.
Fantastic painter, cool. Made a beautiful cover.
Yeah,
I love the way the girls look like they're partying behind Flynn as he carelessly spins his 6-shooter or laser or whatever it is.
Yeah,
he has multiple guns. If you see, while he's relaxing in his chair there, spinning one of the blasters he's got. There's crates all around him, so he's got all kinds of gear that's always ready to be deployed for when he needs it. And he communicates. There's the blue robot floating up above his legs. That's Eldridge.
That's cool.
That's the first voice you hear in the trailer. That's Eldridge, voiced by the incomparable Von Claus.
Every time I see this cover, I think that Flynn is trying to figure out which girl he's going to take home.
Well,
why not both?
The conflict might not be exactly which one he's going to take home, but rather the lady's maid might be protective of the younger girl. She's 20. The younger girl's 20-ish, so Flynn's not robbing any cradles. 20, 21, and she's high society and he's low society, right? So it might be more along the lines of, Mox, you're not supposed to get mixed up with these troglodytes that go planet to planet.
Yeah. What do you call your art style? It's really, really good. And it makes the first thing that came to my head was bubblegum rock.
Dude, thank you. Let's call it that. that is marketing genius. I've spent 17 years in advertising, and let's call it bubblegum rock. That is perfect, dude. Which
Thank you.
I think also Thunderbuns might go by bubblegum rock. You got a good bubblegum rock look happening too.
Yeah, yeah. I can chew bubblegum and rock at the same time.
Are you talking about like bubblegum rock, like Cheap Trick or like the Beatles or that type?
No, I'm talking more about the Partridge Boy.
Oh, okay, all right. The real pleasure stuff, like the Monkees.
Yeah.
Yeah, earlier in the chat, I was saying how I really like Charlie's line work and how
it's beautiful.
It's obvious to me there are influences there from old school illustrators. I believe it or not, I see bits of William Singer Sargent and Norman Rockwell, but then I also see influences of modern comic artists. So I think it's fantastic.
Mm.
Well, I mean,
his women have a bit of Dean Yeagle, don't you think, Art?
A little bit. They do, like the younger girl, she's a little bit more animated and cartoon, a little bit, but that blonde, holy crap, man, she's smoking. I don't know where you're getting that from.
She's seen it all and done it all. We've been talking about we have wives we don't deserve. They're all kind of based on my wife. Once you're with somebody for years and years and you draw them, they're sitting there, you draw them. They're eating, you draw them. They're asleep, you draw them. Everything just starts to look like her. So there's the black version of her. There's the bubblegum rock and roll latex version of her on the top right.
Yeah.
So you draw what you know.
Well, And I agree with you, Todd. I'm seeing some of the Dean Eagle in there as well. I get why you said that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Dean rocks, man. He's really good.
Yeah, he does. Yeah, he does.
So then we have Jam. So we have variant plus artist edition. We have both covers. We have all three versions, and then well, finally 9 claimed. Man, I'll tell you, the best deal in this whole campaign is the 6x9 head sketch that Charlie will do for you guys. It's only $150, and it's going to be a 6x9 on Bristol board. And so Charlie does most of his work digital, or all of his work digital. So these are going to be hand drawn. So how rare is that for you to do such a thing, Charlie?
I draw with my kids all the time. It's my favorite thing to do in the world. We sit together as a family and draw. So all the initial concept sketches for this book have all been colored over by the 4-year-old and the 6-year-old. You know, so I'll have to make sure that when I sit down to do these head sketches, you can't color these. These are going out. You know, these are going. Here's the. After looking at black and white, my son was drawing this. I think he got into his head art. I think it really grabbed him.
Yeah, he is showing something. Yeah.
But hold on, let me check this out.
Oh, the Ing Ang.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Actually, go ahead, Charlie.
I think you hypnotized him. Because look, he just drew it over and over again.
Over again, yeah. Well, you're trying to perfect the circle.
Well, since Todd mentioned Dean Yeagle, I brought up a very apropos picture you can show, Art.
Do I want to?
Yes.
What?
Just Dean Yeagle, right? Oh, yeah.
That was the magazine, a reference to the magazine company in France that got firebombed.
Yes. By the terrorists, yeah. But it's a Dean Eagle, and of course it's referencing his name, Charlie. So.
Thank you. I've seen that artist's work.
Yeah.
Does he do comics? What does he do? Pinups?
He's an animator by trade. So I believe he did a lot of animation, and so then later he did illustration, and now. I think he did Mandy for, was it Playboy, the comic strip? So I think he did Mandy for the Playboy comics. So
yeah, they're all
Mandy
in
right there.
Little collections and stuff. And he's done some children's books.
I remember seeing
Gremlins.
Oh, I've never heard of that.
Yeah,
I remember seeing the hot blonde asleep. He sort of did a series of that girl sleeping, and she's in different positions as she's asleep. And I remember thinking, boy, that is not to just focus. Yeah.
Dog. Yeah.
Scratch. I think his name was Scratch.
It's always really kind of provocative. There's usually some TNA involved.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
Yeah. So
I didn't show that. I can show that. Would you let me show that? I can do that.
Well, Charlie might want to see. I don't know. I mean,
let me take a peek before I go.
Listen to Chester. Chester's a dirty old man.
Just a little bit.
Just a little bit. Oh, by the way, if there's anybody new to the chat and the show, and Charlie and Jason, usually Chester gets us popped and bumped and demonetized. That's his thing on this show.
That's my job.
Oh,
yeah.
Can you not do that before I show my stuff?
Sure, I'll hold back for you, dude.
It's happened like 3 or 4 times, man.
Well, trust me, Jason, we'll stay all night as long as it takes. We're gonna show off your Indiegogo for sure.
I've been waiting my whole life to get here. I have. Like literally every moment of my life has been building to this. So, hey, don't laugh. Just wait.
Oh, that's right.
Okay?
I laugh too much.
Just
I get
wait.
in trouble for laughing.
You'll see. Oh, no, I didn't. Sorry, I didn't. No, that's not what
That
I
really works well
meant.
with the kids, by the way, Charlie.
Sorry.
Yeah, they like that. Yeah.
So does the finger thing. What's the finger thing when you get your thumb and you like?
Yeah.
So where's Chester? Yeah. Oh, he pulled the finger off. Are you?
Well, I don't want to show it now. I don't want to upset Jason, so I'm holding back. I'm going to hold back. I'll do it later.
We'll save it for the end of the show.
Yeah.
No, don't make me out to be the bad guy. I'm just trying to.
Yeah, well,
Don't
do
worry
my
about
thing.
it. Todd's the bad guy. He's always the bad guy. You're
Oh my
safe.
God. You're gonna disappoint Charlie. Wanted to see it on his way out.
Love you, Todd.
All right. Let me see the Dean Eagle piece
Your
before
book-
I gotta go, and I have
Oh,
Australians.
okay. Let me
to
go.
Right. Your book looks
see.
amazing, Charlie. By the
Let me
way,
pick something tame.
Thank you,
How
All
about this
Father.
one here?
It's not every
And this
day I
isn't-
get to speak to the All Father.
And you know what the thing
And,
is?
It's
Charlie-
a little tamer version
Charlie's
there.
talent is so great that he's been doing advertising, not even comics, for like 10 years. You know, how long have you been doing advertising, Charlie?
Since 2003.
Oh
So
yeah, like
17 years.
holy crap! And then he comes and he's like, "Oh yeah, I'll do a comic." Psh, whatever, Charlie.
I've been.
This is Mandy. This is from the Playboy strip.
yeah, I remember those.
Yeah, the nipples are just off screen, so I thought this was safe.
Perfect.
You're awesome. You're awesome.
I will
Thank
channel
you.
Dean Eagle. It's a pleasure to meet you all. And
Yeah.
I'll Joe Thunderbuns. Very nice to meet you.
Yeah, thanks
Zach,
for joining us,
thank you for
Charlie.
being number 4. Florida man, you look sleepy. Get rest.
That's his. That's his state of being, dude. Boy, you hit that on the nose. Damn.
I'm working.
Cornelius, thank you for introducing me to Dean Eagle and All Father.
No problem.
Every Wednesday, I think of you. Do you know Wednesday is named after you? Always remember.
It is.
Woden's
It is
Day
Thursday.
is for you.
Thursday too. Thursday
Yeah.
and Wednesday is Odin's Day.
Indeed.
Yes,
It is.
that is correct. And much
And
luck on
Friday
your
for your
book,
wife.
man.
And-
Much luck. That thing is amazing.
Thank you. The
That's-
Eagle flies on Friday. Saturday I go out to play, and Sunday
Oh,
morning
wow.
I'll go to church.
Stormy Monday
Get done.
reference, really? Wow, dude.
Nice.
You just
Nice.
gained 10 extra points, baby.
Nice.
All
You
right.
have
All right.
Good evening.
Thanks,
Thank you
Art.
so much
I'll
for
see you
coming
shortly.
on, and best of luck with the campaign. Take care.
Thanks.
And then there were 6. Now it's the Jason show. How you doing, Jason? What's up?
I'm good. I'm good. Let me geek out for a moment. When I was in high school, cable came out, and I loved that shit, man. You did some of the coolest, and all the X-Men stuff and all the black and white stuff. It was all just top-notch art food for my brain.
Thank you so much, man. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, I really appreciate even being on the show and having this opportunity to do this with you and the rest of this wonderful cast here.
But hey, no problem, man. It was our pleasure to have you. And Hammer looks amazing. And do you want to jump right into that? And you can talk up your new campaign?
Sure.
Okay, I'm going to screen share the campaign. So here it is, Hammer, a post-Ragnarok tale by Jay Krieger. So you're how long? Oh, you're about halfway through the campaign. You're 8,749 into it, 126 backers. So you're going pretty strong, my friend. So what's the pitch? What's Hammer?
I am. So Hammer is essentially the culmination of 2 things: Mad Max and the Nordic gods, and they're smashed together. And I broke the world, essentially. So I wanted to build this. I knew that in my life I would never be allowed to draw Thor or do what I wanted to do with Thor. So, and nor did I want to compete with any of these wonderful artists who are doing wonderful things for the business and doing their stuff, right? So I thought I should play with my own toys, and that's exactly what this is. It's me taking my love for post-apocalyptic movies and my love for the Nordic mythology and mashing it all together to create Hammer. And
this illustration right here, I'm sorry to interrupt you, but this illustration is amazing. I love the logo. I love all the graphic work. I love the effects coming off the hammer there. That is badass, man.
Thank you. This campaign is essentially my love for everything. I wrote and drew and inked almost everything in it. Hammer. The special cover you're looking at right now was done by Joe Benitez. The only thing I did on that was color it. Joe Benitez penciled it. John Levisay inked it. I think it came out really well. And we're pushing the 10K mark on my campaign. We're actually in the last 12 days of 60 days. And if we get to 10K, I can get everybody an 11 by 17 poster of that.
Ooh, let's do that. Yeah, everybody, go check out Hammer. And are these concept drawings here?
So Hammer comes as a 48-page issue, but it has extra stuff in it. So the first 28 pages is my story. Then there's a 6-page story that has this Kirby-esque 70s type meta fiction that we do. It's a what if type of situation. And it's 6 pages of Star of Asgard once she were to ascend to being God status. And I had my friend Jason Gonzalez, who does La Mano del Destino, do this concept work for me. And then he's drawing the 6 pages for the little Kirby-esque metafiction in each issue.
Yeah, it's a little Bruce Lee-ish, I think.
Right. He loves that guy too, man. He's all over it. His stuff is amazing. I've known him since we were in junior high. So, yeah, he worked with Todd McFarlane. He's done La Mano del Destino for the last 10 years. He's also the publisher of my book, Hammer.
It pays to have good creative friends, right?
It does, especially when they're this talented. He actually started off in advertising also and did that and got a degree in it. And he still does that on the side, but he loves comics. And when I pitched him the story idea, he was totally in. So I was stoked, and I'm glad to have him aboard. And I love his style. I just love it.
Yeah, it looks great.
Well, why don't you pitch the story to us? Tell us what's going on here.
So let's scroll down. Let's keep going. Keep going. Go. Go till it says the story.
This is your artwork here, or is this?
No, those are some pinups that are coming in the book.
That's Erwin Papa?
Correct.
Okay,
here's the story of Hammer. So it's essentially a post-apocalyptic land. It's 1,000 years in the future from the fall of man. And in those 1,000 years, the moon has been broken and it surrounds the earth like a giant snake. So the people of Earth believe that Jormungandr, the world serpent, has separated itself from the ocean and is floating essentially like a ring around the earth. And satellites have begun to fall from the sky, and the people who live there collect all this space stuff and space junk and everything else to sell as scraps and use, the power sources for other things and try to rebuild civilization. But for the most part, Ragnarok is happening concurrently. And during that process, the fabled Asgardian weapons are now falling to Midgard, and they are going to be wielded by humans. And the remaining gods that survive Ragnarok will try to come and get them back.
Ooh, Baldur's coming up.
Actually, a little more than that. So you'll see. You'll see. I put a little twist on things. I don't exactly stick solid to the Nordic mythology because Ragnarok is a secular thing. It can go off in many different ways. So
again, I have to say though, I did notice that someone's got their speaker picking up into the mic, but I did notice you used the Nordic wheel, Runic wheel, which is pretty cool. The last time I saw one of those was in Black Sunday Murders, actually, or Black Monday Murders. Sorry.
Right. I call it a Viking calendar. Is what it is. I don't know that to be true though, so I don't know how to read it. So it's if it is a calendar, it's absolutely irreadable to me. I can't read that. So
Jason, is this your artwork here? Is this your work here?
Oh yeah, that's all me.
Wow. Holy crap.
Thank you. Yeah, it's all penciled and inked by me. I wrote everything. I penciled everything physically, and then I decided to change to digital inks, but I can ink like that too. So I just found something I could mimic to my inking style to kind of do when I ink digitally. So it's cool. I actually enjoy it. Digitally inking is probably the coolest thing that's ever happened to me.
Art, could you roll up to the Runic wheel, and I'll read it for him.
Oh, you can read it?
Is that the one that's on the cover with the logo?
Oh my God, he's gonna show off.
Yeah, no, right here. Well, dude, he said he didn't know how to read it right there. Let's see. So we got Midsummer going from the top down to clockwise. We got Harvest Fest, Winter Finding, Einenbar Feast, the Yule, of course, Valis, Ostara, Baldur's Night. There you go.
I think one of those is the menorah.
The menorah?
No, it's not.
Yeah, it's right there.
Are you sure? Aren't they lighting candles right there?
Yeah, 8 Crazy Nights right there. Look at that, right off to the left.
No, these are just the main festivals of the Nordic year. It's the Runic wheel.
I think you're lying. That's
all right.
Thank you so much. I didn't know that. I should have looked it up. I used it as a design element. I designed that also. Even the Runic lettering I designed based on real Runic lettering. And I kind of took some liberties. And
I can see that, but I know what you're doing because I've seen this before. But
that's cool, man. I dig all the art direction here. Your style is incredible, man. This is you too. This is the cover. Is that right?
Right. That's correct.
Yeah, that's correct. Badass. And I like the way you incorporated the logo. Since we're not doing Marvel DC work, we can take some liberties with where we put the logos and stuff like that. So I like the. It's not a traditional placement for the logo.
Right.
It looks like it's supposed to be part of the artwork there. It's just a nice design, man. And that's very fluid, the way she's leaping down. Just great gesture. This is really good stuff, Jason.
And this is how you have a female Thor, by the way.
Yes. A female Thor in a post-apocalyptic society. And, she could be any color. She could be anything. It doesn't matter. It just give her the hammer, give her a good backstory, which, you'll find out in the book. I could tell you, but I don't want you guys. I want you to find all these beautiful links to mythology. Like, I want you to do your work.
Cool.
I will spoon feed some of it to you to kind of spur you on, but there's a lot that can go into it. I think the thing that impresses me the most about this cover was the most unintentional thing. When I had drawn it, I had just drawn this pose and I put it in the computer. I was testing how to computer ink. I only learned how to do it 6 months ago. So I've been doing everything in Photoshop, on a pad that I have, and it's working great. And the most unintentional thing that happened is her name is Star of Asgard, or Star of Midgard currently, because she's on Earth. There's a star around her. Like, when I put all the lightning bolts around her, I didn't intend for there to be a star-like white space around her. And it just turned out that way. And that's the most unintentional thing that totally made that cover, as far as I'm concerned, for me. It just has so much energy. And
I think the whole piece does. And then just that solid black logo just really anchors it, the composition. This is just nice all the way around. And this book is going to be printed in black and white, right?
Correct. It's the whole series is in black and white. At some point, I'm supposed to talk to Heavy Metal about doing it, and if we do and they decide they want it, I'll do it in color for them.
I don't know, man. This black and white, there's some things that aren't worthy of a black and white treatment. This book with your style definitely deserves that. This stuff looks great.
I really appreciate it. I've been in the industry for about 28 years. So I started out as a wee little ink assistant at Harris Comics to Joe Weems, and worked my way up years later to, working at Top Cow, and then working with Avatar, and moving on past that, I taught myself how to sculpt. Like, some of the stuff you see in my campaign, there's sculptures available on some of the tiers. I hand sculpt everything I do. Also, I make my own reference. I don't know very many artists who actually sculpt and do their own art and tell their own stories and is the complete package. So when you get something from me, it's from me. It's not because I allocated it out to somebody else. Right. That's Loki. That's my Loki. And I actually have one of my tiers is Bring Me the Head of Loki.
Oh, and nice, dude. Look at that.
I sculpted this to be able to. Oh, yeah.
Oh, wait, hold on. Wow.
That is cool.
So I sculpted this to be able to, make resin copies of it so I can offer it to my backers. And this is some of the reference I use to actually work on the book. I do it with a lot of stuff, like with Star. I sculpted her up, and at some point I may offer her, not in this first campaign. What I'm offering in this first campaign is stuff like this.
I saw that. These are so cool, man.
And these are all one-off pieces, hand done, no 3D printing. They've all been touched by my hands, painted by my hands. It's all epoxy clay and kit bashing. When I first started sculpting, if we got any serious bids tonight, I wanted to raffle something off. And this comes from when I first started sculpting. I love Mobius, so I did a version in 2012 of Mobius's Galactus.
Look at that.
And it's done in Super Sculpey, the crap you buy over at Michael's. And I did this years and years ago when I first started sculpting. I didn't start as a sculptor. I've been a comic book artist and an editor and an art director and a writer, but I only started sculpting about 10 years ago, and I quit doing comics to follow sculpting, and then I was drawn back into comics again, and this is why Hammer exists today, because
you know who Ashley Woods is?
Oh, of course I know who Ashley Woods is.
Man,
yes.
you'll be like the next. You can dethrone that guy with your artwork, and then do your sculptures at the same time. Start marketing, selling those.
He's the man. I would love to. The people who design his stuff are 3A, and he has a complex team of people who actually 3D design most of his stuff now. And then they print it out and make toys out of it with PVC vinyl. In fact, speaking of Ashley Wood, I can lean right off camera right here and pulled this out. This is an Ashley Wood toy.
Yeah.
So, and in most cases, this thing lights up and everything. I think it has a button. Let's see. Yes, see, lights up.
His stuff is incredible, man.
And the suit, if I take this suit off of him, he has another suit underneath it. Like
I think I saw Adam Savage put this together and paint it and do all that kind of stuff on his show.
Oh, this isn't a kit. This is an actual physical toy that has bendable parts. This thing stands up and yeah, it has guns and lights and I know what you're talking about. The piece that Adam Savage did. I know exactly what you're talking about. That's the Russian cosmonaut that's standing on that spherical ball. I know what you're talking about. Yeah, I love all that stuff. I love Ashley Wood. I collect his work. I would love to be that guy and have his production team, but I'm just one guy. I'm here to sell one comic. I can only do one thing at a time at this point, and it's push hammer so that I can make it as good. The best black and white book of the year is what I want to do. Like,
well, I think you're well on your way. The book looks incredible. Let's go back one more time. I'm gonna check it out. I just want to get into a couple of tiers real quick, and I'm gonna hit refresh. And you guys get in. This has only got 11 more days. So we have the line art edition signed. So is this is the 48-page book right here?
That's right. That's the 48-page book. It has a black and white cover, the one I did. It comes with a Mark Beecham pinup, a Joe Weems pinup, like an 8x10, and then it comes with a Star of Asgard card, which are all at the bottom of the campaign. If you ever want to look at those all come with every order, including the 8K goal that gives you the embroidered hammer logo as a patch.
Oh, cool! I remember Mark Beecham. How do you know Mark Beecham?
Oh, I ran into him a few years back, and I ran into his keeper, and I befriended him briefly to get some art from him, and then I had to hunt him down to get it from him after I paid for it. And we were supposed to do some work together, but he's not all there, man, anymore. Like, something happened, and I don't know what, but it kind of freaked me out. So I left the situation and decided not to do any work with him or the person he lives with. Like, from what I heard, he kept, and I'm not trying to speak out of church about this, man. Like, this isn't something I don't like to talk about other people unless I have their permission to. So,
Chester, does he have permission? Can he speak?
He does.
Chester said you can speak.
I get it. He was perfectly content selling art on the streets. And
oh my gosh, he was so good. What? Oh my gosh, this is horrible.
And he was selling art on the streets, and I can't tell you if he was doing drugs or not because I don't know. Okay, like, he never did it in front of me. But there was obviously some underlying mental stuff going on. I know that he lived with this publisher that would take him in for a little while, and then he would go out and disappear for like a few weeks, and then he would come back. And I got him during like a clarity time, I guess. And I paid him, a couple $100, and he did a wonderful painting for me. It's at the bottom. And I've kept it for a long time to try to figure out something to use it for, and keep it right there. And it's a beautiful painting. He did such a great job. Anyways, I've tried to have some contact with him, but he's never around at the place that I met him at and used to be able to contact him at. And the guy who used to be kind of like the person who handled him is just kind of done with his shit. So yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I wish the best for him. I want him to have success, but I don't know if it'll be on his own terms. So
yeah. Well, we all make our own path. I hope that he can find his way, because he was a gift, man. I loved his work.
I agree. He talked fondly of Neil Adams, and he talked fondly of like some of the stuff he did at Marvel. He did a whole Spider-Man issue that they found and sent back to him, and he showed me this Spider-Man issue he drew that was never printed, but Marvel had it for like 20 years and gave it back to him, and it was the coolest thing I'd ever seen because it was during his heyday, and it was just so beautiful. Anyways, I'm very nostalgic about it. I get that, but I'm kind of one of those people who are codependent, and I want to kind of fix them in spite of themselves.
Yeah.
And especially when they're super talented. And I loved the guy's work. And that's about all I can say about that.
We're keeping his legacy around. You know, he's part of your campaign here, so that's pretty cool that you got a piece of artwork from him. So we have the exclusive signed edition. This is the Joe Benitez, John Livesay's piece here. So is it? Oh, you got it signed by Joe and
Benitez.
And cool,
yeah. Yep. They both signed it, and I'll be signing it also because I colored that cover and I wrote the book. So
awesome. You get 3 signatures there for the price of 1. So
exactly.
Then you have a signed bundle, which is a twofer.
Right.
So they get both books at a discounted price, right?
Correct.
Oh, killer. So the only color piece will be that Joe Benitez cover then, right?
Correct. Unless we get to the 13K mark. And then I did a bunch of paintings that I've given away on live streams that I want to turn into little postcards and send to people.
Oh, cool. So here is the Bring the Head of Loki. So you got 14 of these, so that's pretty cool out of 13. So are these cast in resin? They're resin cast. Very cool.
Correct. And it comes with a base. It comes with that base that I showed you. And it's probably my featured tier. It's the most bang for your buck. And you're going to get some of the reference, essentially, that I use every day for these 10 issues on this book.
And you get both books. Wait a minute. You get the cast and the 2 books?
Yeah.
Dude.
Yeah.
It's a great value. And when I backed this project, I debated between this tier and then the next one you're going to show art, the original art tier. And I ended up going with the original art, but man, I was tempted to get that sculpture.
Well, everybody get out there. This is an incredible deal. You get the head sculpt, and it's not small, right? That head is a pretty good size.
No, in my hand, I think the height of it is like almost 7 inches at the top of the actual horns. When I'm holding it,
wait, hold on. All right, there you go.
Like,
wow,
that's a dandy of a piece.
It's substantial.
That thing's worth $200 unto itself, just the sculpt.
Yeah, but here's the thing. I do my own casting. I do my own molds. I'm a one-stop shop. I'm able to do all of this, and it's doable for me.
So no overhead.
Nope. Just me and my wife and my friends, if I decide to call them up. I want to give a shout out to my letterist, Marco Galli, if he's listening. So he's the man. Marco Galli's a ink assistant and inker, and the guy worked in the industry for 20 years at Top Cow over some of the greatest people, Dave Finch, Michael Turner, just everybody. So Silvestri, Joe Benitez. So shout out to Marco. Shout out to Matt.
You have a whole tie to the Top Cow guys, because you like said Benitez and then Joe Weems. Those are all like Top Cow guys. So did you work over there yourself, or how did you meet those guys?
I did. I was asked when I was younger about 20 years ago by David Finch to take over on The Darkness. And he was moving on to Ascension. And I took over on The Darkness for part of an issue until I screwed it up. So 20 years ago.
On the page?
Pardon?
Did you drop some ink on the page? I was making a joke that you screwed it up.
No, I didn't drop ink on the page. I got kind of divorced in the middle of having my big shot of working at Top Cow. And I literally had to be out of the house at the end of the month, and there was no way for me to do it all. And at the time, the editors at Top Cow had zero chill, and I was new guy. So it didn't go off very well. And I don't think I've spoken to Finch since because of it. So I think we have that in common, me and you, Art.
Yeah, who was the editor? Matt Hawkins?
No, it would have been Renee Geerling.
Oh, Renee. Yeah, she's okay, but she can be a little handful.
Yeah.
What about now?
Pardon?
What'd you say about Dave Finch?
Oh, I said I think we've had similar situations with Finch where they didn't back us up. Like I heard about your Finch situation during the Ultimate stuff, and that he didn't back you up and fight for you. And he didn't do that for me either. And I had known him for years. And yeah.
Yeah, he's a little bit of a weasel. So is this your artwork here? This is the art edition. So we have both covers. We have an 8x10 original art sketch. So,
right. And that is my art. Yes.
Okay. So,
it'll stuff like this.
Oh, nice. So bring that up, Art. Bring that up.
Wait. Hold on. Let's check this out.
So this is me ripping off Sean Gordon Murphy's Catwoman cover.
Oh yeah, look at that, dude.
Dude, that's not going to be for that amount of money. You're going to do a sketch. You're not going to do something like that, right?
Nah, I gave this to one of my friends already who bought the artist edition. But if I ink something, it'll be 8x10 and detailed like this.
Nice, dude. Damn, dude.
That
is
is
very
why,
good, man.
This is why I bought the original art tier as opposed to the sculpture. It was a tough decision, but I went with the original art.
I'm a serious artist. I take stuff. Well, I'm getting old, Art, and I'm almost 48, and I need to make this happen. I need to make this really happen.
Chester, why you're a youngster, man.
Yeah.
You're
young man.
Bad, like Zach.
You know what I keep telling myself, that, and I'm not totally even trying to relate myself to this person because I could never be him. I know that Kirby didn't get famous until in his 40s. And that's what I keep telling myself is I'll do okay once I get in sometime in my 40s.
Oh, showing off the skulls. Oh, all right.
Hello.
Oh yeah, my mandible doesn't move. Sorry. No mandibling. So yeah, I really do try to take care of all the people who back me. Right now, there's only 120 some people. I look at it as if I go to a comic book convention and I see 120 people, I want to give them a little bit of an experience. And I have enough time at home right now during all this stuff to be able to give them that. So, yeah, I realize that I'm undercharging for some things. Yeah, I realize that I'm working too hard, but it's worth it. This is actually one of the best intellectual properties, and I know it, and I feel it in my bones.
Well, it looks great, man. Everybody go back hammer. It looks great. We have 11 more days. And Jason, do you want to hang out with us while we cover some William Shatner news?
Yeah, I can hang out. I realize what you guys are going to talk about, so that's fine. I suppose I already said my piece with it. I realize that it's just stupid. So on all accounts. So yes, by all means, do what you need to do.
Do you reference Mjolnir in the book at all, or is it just the hammer?
No, it's Mjolnir.
Sweet.
It is. It's Mjolnir. So when, there's actually a scene where there's some narration where Star is wielding the hammer. So if Art wouldn't mind, if he could pop back up. Are you busy? Are you drawing? Did I ruin it for you?
No. So you want to go back to the Indiegogo?
Yeah. Go back to my Indiegogo real quick, and let me show you some stuff. What? Yeah, scroll down.
There's
go to the story
of the hammer. I saw that, right?
It's the one I want to show you before the hammer. Right there. Wait, go up. Right there.
Boom.
So, yeah. I wish. Is there any way you can close in on that at all?
I don't know how to do that.
It's okay.
Control plus.
Yeah, Control plus.
Oh yeah. There we go. So keep going. So when I'm speaking about her in this scene, what's happening is she's had this hammer for 6 months, and everybody knows about the hammer. Everybody knows it's here. Loki's chasing her. The acolytes are coming. She's lost her car. She can't get around. She's trying to hide, and she finds a place that she can kind of prop up, but she's too, I guess, visible to everybody else looking for this thing. And they recognize her, and they come after her with this hammer. And when the narration speaks over the top of it, she had just walked into a bar. A bunch of guys are arguing with themselves. They see her. They realize who she is. She's worn out and exhausted. She knows that she can't have the hammer taken away from her, so she reaches into her backpack and she pulls out a wrapping and wraps it around her wrist and starts wrapping it around the hammer, so no matter what happens, that hammer's not coming out of her hand. And she holds it out to him, and as she goes to strike forward, there is only one little narration that's going to be plopped in right in between her hand and that boom, and it's going to say, "And then Odin spoke," and it levels the whole place.
Nice.
I ham up the idea that it's Mjolnir's hammer. It shoots so much lightning out of it. Like, I don't even deal with the idea that it's infinitely heavy, because it doesn't have to be. You can literally just shoot lightning bolts up somebody's ass and they won't pick that thing up.
Cheers to that.
Lightning bolts.
Thunder bun.
So I'm gonna stick to it, guys. It'll hopefully be a something that I can do on a regular basis and bring to a giant crowd and do some more. I want to know how I can make 30 grand in one day. So
it's easy.
Is it easy, Art? Can you fucking show me how, man?
I'm just talking shit. I don't know.
I mean, really, at this point, I'd be willing to like blow a homeless person to make 30 grand in a day. Nice. I dig that. You want to see my hammer?
Is your hammer bigger than my hammer, brother? Is that what's happening? Damn it!
Oh, my hammer envy.
My hammer. This is made out of paper for reference, so I could draw my hammer. So it's when I needed to see it in that way that she was holding it, I essentially made a hammer and took a picture of it and drew it.
So it's always. So let's get into some of this William Shatner nonsense. Do you guys want to get into that?
Please.
I hear an echo. There is
an echo. Someone's got their speaker open from this into the mic. I checked mine already, so it's not me. It just went quiet. So maybe it's Jason.
Is it only my voice? I can't
No,
hear.
it was everybody.
It must have been me, so I'll just mute myself. So let me mute myself.
All right. So, Joe, do you have the article? You want me to find it for you?
Yeah, I've got it.
This thing was so interesting. This is the level of craziness that society is at. So this is the Bleeding Fool article, right?
Yeah. So I was looking into this earlier today, and Bleeding Fool does a nice job of putting all of the relevant tweets together, or the most relevant, I should say. This actually goes on and on and on, but I think they do a good job of summarizing it. And what essentially happened was that William Shatner has been under attack from the woke brigade for a little while now. And as far as I can understand, it's because he doesn't suffer fools lightly. And unfortunately, there have been more than a few fools who try to go at him on Twitter. So he's gotten to the point where if people come across to him as though they're intentionally trying to insult them, he simply blocks them and moves on with his day. But if there are people who he thinks he can engage in good faith with, then he'll try and talk with them. And so one of the things that came up was Shatner is doing this show called The Unexplained. It's kind of like the old Unsolved Mysteries, if anybody remembers that from the 80s.
Yeah, that show was great.
Yeah, so it's almost like taking Unsolved Mysteries and crossing it with The X-Files in a way. It's more of weird, unexplained stories versus true crime. Unsolved Mysteries was kind of a half and half between weird, unexplained stuff and true crime stories, unsolved crimes and whatnot. So he's hosting this show, and he has been doing some live tweeting when new episodes of the show are broadcast. And he was live tweeting during a show several days ago, and people started going after him.
Is this his original Spokane musician?
Yeah,
yeah. So that he was actually a woman. That was the initial tweet, right?
Right. So this is in reference.
Just to back up, I mean, it's nothing outrageous, right? It's fairly straightforward and normal. I mean, this guy, everybody thought, one thing, and then in the actuality was something different.
Right.
He's just reporting the news is what he's doing.
Yeah.
Right.
So what the episode in question was, the theme was people with dual identities, essentially.
Oh.
And there were multiple stories in the episode, and in one of the stories, it was all about a jazz musician who went by the name Billy Tipton. And it turns out that Billy was born female. I think on her birth certificate, her name was Dorothy. So during the course of the episode, Shatner was essentially summarizing each story as the episode went along. And so when it got to this point, or was about to get to this point, maybe it was during a commercial break, I'm not exactly sure. But he just says, Spokane, Washington musician Billy Tipton dies. It's discovered that he was actually a woman. So this is live tweeting, okay? And then as we scroll down slightly, we see...
I got an image for you, by the way, Art.
Okay, hold on. Let me come back. But let's scroll down. Is this okay, this is just bigger.
Yeah, so it says he goes into a little more detail as the episode is progressing real time.
Okay.
Spokane, Washington, 1985. Billy Tipton dies. I think Billy was 74 at this time.
Okay, so is this Billy right here?
Yep.
or Dorothy or whatever.
So it says Billy Tipton dies, and paramedics who responded discover Billy is actually a woman. She had been living as a man for decades. Then Brianna Wu, who, for people who don't know, Brianna Wu is a transgendered person who was a very outspoken, I guess you would say, activist during the whole Gamergate scenario. And I won't go into Brianna Wu's sordid history, but let's just say that this person doesn't have a lot of credibility when it comes to speaking truth on just about anything.
Okay.
In my opinion. But one thing that Brianna Wu is very good at doing is bringing attention to themselves and trying to shame other people publicly in a way that brings attention to Brianna Wu.
Okay. So she's virtue signaling him, like, how dare you, you're being insensitive, right?
Right. Saying, I think this is just a transgender man, William. Responding directly to Shatner. So
well, okay, but what was wrong with what he said? You know, like
exactly. And now, if we go a little bit further down into the article, Shatner responds saying, "Don't you have a catapult to set up on the moon to hurl rocks to destroy countries, dear?"
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
Now, that's a reference to something that Brianna Wu had said earlier, where Brianna Wu said something to the effect of, the most devastating weapon wouldn't be from Earth, it would be from the moon, because if you hurled rocks from the moon, they would strike with such force that it would destroy entire countries.
Yeah.
So Shatner appears to have...
That could actually happen, but anyway.
Right. I don't think
Brianna Wu, like, that's actually practical. Like,
I don't think Brianna Wu understands how physics works
and gravity. Yeah.
I'll put it that way. So my read on this is that Shatner looked up who this Brianna Wu person was that was coming at him publicly just out of the blue, and saw what, some of the more colorful statements, let's say, that this person has said on Twitter in the past. And so here he's making a joke about setting up a catapult on the moon to hurl moon rocks at the Earth.
Right.
And so then Brianna responds saying, "Dear, this is a tired joke and a complete misrepresentation of the facts. I expect this from 4chan. You're an allegedly adult man and should know better." So here's where that, attempted public shaming comes into play.
Wow.
Or I should say escalates a little bit from, from chastising him about, his wording earlier, and now it's, you're allegedly an adult man and should know better, as though he's a child.
And let's back up. All he said was a fact. That when they found the person,
yes,
this man, seemingly man, was a woman.
Yes.
And I think it's also interesting to note that this individual is very well known on the West Coast. He was very much a she, I guess, was very much a Duke Ellington-esque character, a big band leader. Yep. So it's not like it's some little minor person. It wasn't. Tipton didn't have necessarily international fame, but this person was known for a long time. A lot of people around him seemed to have no clue. So this person successfully did what they wanted to do, which was to be male, and which is fine.
Right.
So yeah.
As you said,
William Shatner wasn't shaming the guy.
No.
So William Shatner didn't make a decision one way or the other. He just was like, well, this is how they found him Her?
Yeah, well, because I guarantee you it was a shock because this happened in 1989, right? So this person had been doing the kind of circuit and doing with his big man and things like that for quite a while back, especially when those were popular things. So this person, so it's a bit of shock to the people who knew Tipton that, what? I mean, so it's actually viable news, right?
Yeah.
At least gossip news, right?
Well, yeah, I mean, Tipton was at least locally known to be a very accomplished musician, a big band leader.
Yeah.
So it's not as though the episode was denigrating this person at all. I haven't watched the episode myself, but in researching this whole thing earlier today, my understanding is that they actually highlighted the fact that Tipton was a very accomplished musician, accomplished band leader, and there was no, denigration of this person one way or the other. In fact, it was a commentary on how successful this person was in living the life that they wanted to live, regardless of extenuating circumstances.
And how successful she was as a musician.
Yeah, absolutely. And so when Brianna Wu says this is a tired joke and a complete misrepresentation of the facts, referring to Shatner's moon catapult comment, Shatner responds with, "Dear, that's what your tweet said. It's not a misrepresentation of facts unless you misrepresented them." And then he shows a shot here of her tweet where she says, and I quote, "The moon is probably the most tactically valuable military ground for Earth. Rocks dropped from there have power of hundreds of nuclear bombs."
A rock dropped from space. Dropped.
Yes, dropped from the moon.
And Brianna Wu, of course, is famous from the Gamergate nonsense, right?
Yes.
So with the Anita Sarkeesian, Zoe Quinn.
Yes.
Yeah. I just imagine some imaginary Galactus type guy up there, just like he's eating, right? He's eating a planet, and there's just crumbs falling down, and they're just like falling into the Earth's atmosphere.
It is perfect timing, Jason.
Havoc.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
But from what I understand, Joe, actually, even during that episode, they just were covering the straight news. They didn't even get into any of the scandalous stuff, which came out afterward, because as an older person, Tipton had some rather younger girls involved in his life, not illegally, but just younger women, much younger than himself. And of course, after it turned out that they found out, oh, it's actually a woman, well, then there's the whole the whole lesbian shock to it, right? They didn't even cover that. Shatner didn't even get into that. So he could have actually twisted the knife a little bit if he wanted, but he didn't. So so just on top of it, Brianna's not really paying attention.
Yeah,
right. And didn't he say something about that if he was ever like propositioned or was about to sleep or whatever, he would say like that he had some kind of childhood trauma that he couldn't really perform in the sack or something like that. So he figured out a way that he never had to go to that extreme, I guess.
So Tipton said that, so at this point, Tipton would be referring to himself as a he. So he said that he'd been in a terrible car accident and had suffered catastrophic injury to the abdominal area and the pelvic area and was unable to have intercourse.
That's what it was. Okay.
Yeah.
But it seems that he found a few women that he could confide in, and was able to have some physical relationship. But I'm just saying, which doesn't matter at all. But my point being is, if Shatner was actually being malevolent, he would have certainly brought these things up, but he didn't. It's just an interesting story. Like, oh wow, it shocked everyone. This person that people had known as, a semi-famous person on the West Coast, and then all of a sudden it's a female. Ooh, well, that is viable gossip news, right? So it just doesn't make any sense. It's once again, I think the thing that's important to keep in mind with Shatner is, as Joe had said initially, Shatner has been taking flack for a long time, and he does not back up. Shatner will come at you. And because he does that consistently, they just want to get him. They always want to get him. They got to get him. And this is another example, but it just isn't a viable point because there was no mean-spiritedness at all here.
Right. And they didn't.
Well, as soon as somebody says the moon is probably the most tactical, valuable military ground for Earth, rocks dropped from there have powers of 100 nuclear bombs. Like, that's crazy talk, right? That's pretty nutty.
Yeah.
It's a clear case of killing the messenger. Like he didn't do anything.
Right.
And to get outraged about it, to have it go off on Twitter for 72 hours, for it to become an idea that literally formed in everybody else's mind before they even realized that they're killing the messenger. Like, stop it. I get so over that shit. Sorry.
Yeah, well, no, it's not just that though. It's also William Shatner is a high, value target for them. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
It's so it's just like if they can get his attention at all, if they can get a conversation started, they want to keep it going as long as can, because all of his people, all of his fans are watching this conversation, and it's making them have that sort of feeling of like, I'm somebody.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, it's true.
That's a huge part of it. That's a huge part of what they do is they just want that attention. They want their 15 seconds of fame.
It's gone from 15 minutes to 15 seconds.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, and that's true, isn't it?
Twitter, decreases your fame time because you get that one tweet of fame now.
I'm waiting.
But no, I mean, Zach, you're right. He's just a high value target because in reality, if you actually listen to Shatner over the years, and he's a very old man to be doing this the Twitter stuff, but he does. He's very energetic in it. But one thing you can tell very clear from listening to Shatner, he's a libertarian, for one, and two, he's been very supportive of all the homosexual and other type of people that's been around him. Especially, particularly Takei-san. There's no even motivation to think he's homophobic because he's never been so.
Right.
And
for those that don't know, Chester just said Sulu.
Yes. Sulu. I did. What didn't I say it clearly?
Takei-san.
Sorry. I live in Japan, dude. Sorry.
So yeah, and from the interaction he had with Brianna Wu, there was another ongoing dispute that a bunch of people have been having with Shatner over him asking people not to refer to him as cis, in reference to cisgender. And
Mag stuff. What was Mag?
Yeah, so now we're getting it. This is where Mags Visaggio enters the picture. And if you if we bring up the article, there you go. You can just leave it right there for the moment, Art. Thank you. It's basically where there was between the Brianna Wu exchange and the Mags exchange, which we're about to get into. There was a bunch of people who were going back and forth with Shatner and using the word cis and cisgender as a pejorative against him. And he's been, for at least a week, that was all the time I had to research on this, he's been getting attacked by people who used this term cis or cisgender as a pejorative. And he basically said, okay, if you guys are going to use this as a pejorative, I'm going to ask you to just stop using it because I don't have time for this. If you guys want to have an honest discussion, then just talk to me like a person. I'll talk to you like a person. Let's have a conversation.
That's very fair. Yeah.
Yeah, but there's a bunch of people who are, having fun, just going at him, and they have no interest in having a genuine conversation about anything legitimate. So they keep at him and keep at him and keep at him. And he is responding here, this tweet that you have up at the moment, Art. He's responding to somebody who is asking him, what do you have against this term? And Shatner says, it just looks like they want to find a loophole to justify the use of the term in all cases and refuse to even address how the term is regularly used on social media towards me as a demeaning slur. And then he was referring to a specific example, which is always helpful. And Mags Visaggio replies to him saying, yeah, I love how we're talking about your feelings about the word cis and not about how you called Billy Tipton a woman. You're the victim here, really.
Well, Billy Tipton's birth certificate says she's a woman or he's a woman, right?
And the coroner said Billy Tipton was a woman.
Okay.
And
it's not Shatner saying it.
And since Billy Tipton's dead, we can't really ask him what he would rather or she would rather be referred to as.
Well, clearly,
right?
She wanted to be a man, and that's fine, right? That's not the problem. There's a difference between, this person has lived in a man, and unless someone's being a real jerk, we're going to call them he or she, whatever they want, right? There's no reason not to. But when you come down to a coroner's report, it's going to be your biological sex, man.
Yes,
right.
Yes, it is.
If we were hanging out with Billy, we would probably be respectful and call Billy Billy.
Sure.
We would honor that, and we would go along with that. But that's not what this is. This is like you said, Chester. It's clinical. It's a birth certificate. It's a death certificate. Like these are pretty official documents.
And Mags is acting here, in my opinion, as though Billy had gender reassignment surgery and legally changed their name from Dorothy to Billy and, had gone through the quote-unquote transition 100% and then acting like Shatner was somehow being disrespectful to that person, which was not the case at all. There was no malice in anything Shatner said.
Right.
Shatner was, again, live tweeting along with an episode where this story was being relayed. And as you said, Art, it was laid out very matter-of-factly. There was no salacious content. There was no malice. There was no denigration of Billy Tipton as a person, either as a woman or as a man. So this tweet here from Mags talking about how Shatner called Billy Tipton a woman and then sarcastically saying, you're the victim here, really. In my opinion, it's very disingenuous. And in my opinion, this is yet another attempt by Mags to try and get some attention for herself.
Well, also, what is she referring to? Like William Shatner's trying to be a victim? I didn't get that.
No,
I didn't either.
Yeah.
Not at all.
I do have some reference pitches for our attackers here, if you're curious, Art.
Okay, I'm coming. What the hell?
This is Brianna Wu, just for referencing.
That's Brianna Wu.
And here is Mags Visaggio. So.
Okay.
Okay.
Mags.
Now, Brianna Wu is really famous more from the Gamergate. For us, as far as the Comics Gate thing goes, Mags Visaggio is a major player in all of that, along with Mark Waid and et cetera, Gail Simone, et cetera, et cetera. But Mags here, you would think over time, because this is recent, this happened, you would think Mags would soften up and be a little bit more of a friendly. Because here's the thing: if you really follow what's happened over the past few years here with Max Visaggio, you can actually feel if she wasn't such an asshole, you could actually feel a little bit of sympathy for her, because they've treated her horribly, right? But yet she keeps wanting to be on that team that doesn't want her, right? And so you would think she would wise up, and occasionally you see little glimmers of light of Mags lightening up, but then she goes right back and does this stuff again. So it's hard for me to have sympathy for her, because I do feel a little bad, because they've treated her bad, man. But she just can't stop with her nonsense. She can't stop it.
Right. Why do you think that is? Do you think it's for it, just attention?
Masochism, dude.
So you think that she just likes to be beat up?
It seems so, because she's been put through the ringer. Like I said, the people who've been actually mean to Max Visaggio are the people who she's the team she wants to be on. Those over here, like the us quote unquote comic skater, we kind of have a laugh at the dumb things Mag says, but I haven't seen anyone just go after and attack her. Oh, this damn trans woman. No one, right?
Yeah,
the people that are really treating her badly are people like Brianna Wu.
Right.
Yeah. And so Shatner is then responding to Mags and says, "I was live tweeting a show, dear," and that's a direct quote from the show. Yeah. Also, according to the show, Billy never told his 5 wives that he was a woman. He said he couldn't have sex because of a childhood accident. So before attacking me, know your facts, troll. Now notice that Shatner in this reply is using the pronoun he in reference to Billy. So in most of the tweets, every reference to Billy has been with the pronouns of he. There was only the one time that in that first tweet we covered where there was a he and then also a she, or a he and a woman. I forget exactly what it was. But that it only took one word for Mags to come, swooping down and trying to attack Shatner after Brianna Wu has already, opened up the gate there.
That he was a woman. There it is.
Right. Right. So here's where Shatner just gives Mags the stiff arm. So before attacking me, know your facts, troll.
Right.
And then if we scroll down a little bit more, now at this point, Mags has started deleting tweets and protecting her Twitter account. So if you go to her account and try and look into this for yourself, you're not going to be able to see any of the tweets, unless you're one of her approved followers.
Ooh, let me
check.
I'm going to check.
Somebody was good enough to provide the tweet here, and Mags replies, "Okay, dude. Your books with Chris Kresge made me think you'd be a little more open to having a respectful discussion about why people are upset. I'm very sad to see otherwise. I hope you're otherwise well today." And then as we scroll down, somebody named Suitably Bored called up one of Mags's old tweets and said, "Is this you?" And this is the famous Mags tweet where Mags is saying, "So F you, F cis a-holes, F your BS, get ready for a baseball bat to the teeth."
Yikes.
This is clearly where the Brian persona comes back out.
And so this is where somebody is letting Shatner know this is who you're dealing with now. And Shatner says, "Wow, I guess she has an agenda. I'm sure she meant the word." Here he makes a typo, and I looked this up, and somebody asked him if he meant to say cis, and he replied that he did. So it says cuss, but he meant to say cis. And he says, "I'm sure she meant the word cis in the kindest way possible, though." This is, again, referring to how he has had that term thrown at him as an insult over and over and over again, and here it is, Mags using it in a less than pleasant way. So that's pretty much the end of the article. It was mostly to show how Brianna Wu and Mags Visaggio are trying to cancel William Shatner now, because I don't know, this is just my opinion, but maybe they're not making very much progress with comics pros in the indie scene, and so now they want to try and go after some other targets.
Yeah, and you're right. I am blocked by Magdalene and Visaggio, who's someone who I've never actually tried to join their Twitter.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I think I was blocked in when we were doing the Whisper Network stuff. So,
so it's your fault I'm blocked.
It's your fault too. You're part of this.
Okay, fine.
Let's see if I am. So I'm new to all this stuff. So she doesn't know me. So let's see if I am. And I know I'm everybody's friend.
You're going to be baptized by fire right now, Jason.
Yeah.
I don't play around. Like, this is stupid, is what it is.
It is.
Yeah, this is all for entertainment. I think people pretend to be hurt. I think people, are desperate for attention. And if they can engage somebody like, William Shatner, I think it puts a feather in their cap,
It's true. Yeah, she still hasn't approved me, so it's pending.
There you go.
Wow.
Well, I haven't been canceled yet. How's that? I haven't been canceled yet. So
well, you're better than the rest of us, I guess.
I doubt I would even be, because I would just try to nothing is meant disrespectful, especially Shatner wasn't trying to be disrespectful. Mm-hmm. And as I said, it's a case of killing the person giving you the information, and they obviously didn't pay attention to what was going on, and they flipped out and used their emotions as opposed to being big people about it. Like, we're freaking Twitter is the most vile platform I've ever seen in my entire life.
Yeah.
And
yes, it is. Yeah.
It's horrible. It's horrible. It makes me regret ever going on there, but I know that the majority of the stuff I'm doing has to go through Twitter for people to see it, for me to sell my books.
It's a necessary evil. Yeah, I feel the same way. And I think it's like as soon as you take that personal interaction out of the equation, right? And then you kind of get permission for you to say anything that you want, that anything that you think, anything that you feel, then all of a sudden you have Twitter. You know what I mean? Like, these are things people wouldn't say to, like, I can't see those, like, Mags and Brianna or whatever her name is, you're saying these things directly to William Shatner's face.
Right,
like, I can't be talking to him that way. But on Twitter, it's safe. There's a distance between them, and they can say whatever they want. I just think it's absolutely hilarious how desperate some people are for just any kind of adulation. What do you say, Chester? You said they're Satanists. What do you say? No, they're masochists.
Masochists, yeah.
Masochists.
I think there's some of that going on for sure.
Yeah,
and I've defended Mags a few times, just from a benevolence point of view, and I've taken flack for it. But I think I'm done now. I mean, she won't stop, dude. Because I do feel bad for her, because this is a person that's clearly highly confused about their life. You see a lot of depression in her, and she's getting beat up around the head by everybody. So it's kind of hard not to have a little bit of compassion for her. But damn it, girl.
All right. She needs a big group hug. Big hug. She needs all the hugs. All the hugs. That's right. All of it. Not funny either. Like real hugs.
Yeah.
It's okay.
There's no hate here. I mean, obviously.
Oh, no.
I just think it's an interesting observation that something as innocent as just reporting facts, people jump on and then majorly overblow them. It's like when I was a kid, we used to say mountain out of a molehill, right? Like, so they just pile on and they just keep making something that is nothing something, just to get a little bit of a spotlight, thrown on themselves. And that is kind of the worst part of social media, because there are people like Jason and the rest of us that are trying to use it to show our artwork and entertain people and be positive and move in that direction. And then there's people that just don't create, they just destroy. So they're what is it? There's famous and there's infamous, right? They're just infamous.
Yeah,
Right.
That's true.
Yeah.
Well, we are the softer side of Comics Heat, that's for sure. Except for Zach, he's a bastard. But
You know what, Jusper? I usually don't agree with you, but I agree 100%. The young lad is a bastard.
he is.
That's true.
Where's all the hate, man?
Damn it.
You're pumped.
Yeah, but we have missed the most important question of the night, really. And thank you very much for putting that together. But here's the most important thing, and the question is very simple: James T. Kirk, T.J. Hooker, Denny Crane.
Oh, James T. Kirk.
Interesting.
James T. Kirk.
Yeah,
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
There's two.
I'd wear a tutu.
What about you, Art?
I'm not going to say anything.
Come on, young lad, golden boy. Which
Of
one's
course, I would
your
choose
favorite?
Kirk.
It's interesting. How about you, Mr. Massachusetts?
You're asking me who I choose?
Yeah, who's your favorite? Yeah.
Oh, as far as captains, favorite captain.
No. Favorite. What was your favorite Shatner character? James T. Kirk, T.J.
Kirk.
Hooker, or Denny Crane? Because I love Star Trek. I'm a big Kirk fan, but for me, it's Denny Crane, man. He kicked the hell out of that character. I love Denny Crane character, Boston Legal. Yeah.
I never saw that show, so
Dude.
I
Shatner, man.
I like T.J. Hooker as a name more than T. Kirk.
Yeah, I had to throw it in because but there was a successful show. But the thing with the Denny Crane character, what had happened was Shatner was old enough that he kind of gotten over himself because he was a bit of a prima donna when he was on Star Trek, right?
Yeah.
And he had become his full adult self. And he could laugh at himself and stuff like that. And the Denny Crane character is amazing. If you haven't seen Boston Legal, go check out, just the Denny Crane stuff, and you'll laugh your ass off. It's freaking genius comedy, dude. It's really good. Him and Spader, I think, is the guy he's with.
James Spader.
I think I actually missed what the question was in the first place. I thought, which version of Shatner could we have sex with?
Oh, okay. All right. Well, then Kirk is the right choice. That's true.
Yeah. I mean, I checked out Captain, my captain, man. So
okay. All right. Fine.
Well, when he gives you those
my
orders,
fault.
Jason,
That's on me.
When the captain gives you the orders, you have to.
That'd be so funny. That's what I thought you were asking, man. I really did. So I hit it running. Sorry.
We got to
so
get
did
Jason
everybody else.
Or we got to get Jason on the show more because his mind goes to the dirty places.
It does. Well, he's right here with me. We're like on the same wavelength, man.
Well, as much as I like Shatner on T.J. Hooker, the best part of that show for me was Heather Locklear.
Damn straight it was. Straight it was. Yeah.
Yes.
All right, were those real? I don't think they were.
We did take some time talking about Fall Guy and that hottie that was on that show.
That's so cute.
Heather Locklear.
Is that a hedgehog?
Yeah.
That's a hedgehog.
He's trying to get away from the bastard comment. I get it.
That's beautiful.
Thank you.
Yeah, it is.
He's actually he just woke up. He just woke up because they're nocturnal, so we're all about to go to sleep, and he's just waking up.
All right,
I see.
We're gonna try to get ourselves canceled here, so we're gonna.
I am. I'm on it, dude. I got Heather Locklear sexy. It's typed in. Okay.
All right.
Oh. Do we want an older sexy Heather Locklear or a young sexy Heather Locklear?
No, it wasn't Heather Locklear. Was Heather? Wasn't it Heather?
On the Fall Guy, it was Heather Thomas.
Heather Thomas, but we already talked about her.
Fall Guy.
So it's Heather Locklear's turn. It certainly is Heather Locklear's turn. Now I got my searches on moderate. Let's take that off.
No, let's do young because I saw a picture of her older and
damn.
We don't want plastic surgery, Heather Locklear. That's
I can't do that. I can't do that one. I got to go back over here to moderate. There's a lot of nudity there. All right. So I'll go young. She's a sexy older lady too, though.
I don't know. I saw some photos, man. I didn't think.
Well, she hit a wall. There is true. She did hit a
Wait a
wall.
minute, Jason's walking to the restroom here.
He is. So here you go.
I'm walking outside to smoke.
Here's a clean shot for you there, Art. Clean shot.
All right, here we go. Okay. Or can you scroll down? We need to roll on the bosoms.
That was
that is the shot. That's
was
the
Heather Locklear before Tommy Lee broke her heart.
Tommy, well, damn it, Tommy Lee, man, you gotta know better.
Because I was thinking, Heather Thomas, those are definitely not real, right?
Are you talking about the poster that helped a million young boys grow up? That Heather
okay,
Thomas?
I'll bring it up again. Fine.
I think that is, but you got to find a full figure Heather Locklear as well.
Oh, okay, I will. Let me bring up Thomas though. I know the exact picture he's talking about.
There was a time when that was the best-selling poster in the United States.
Let me put bikini. I think that would probably help it.
It'll narrow.
And it's actually from the show. It was like episode 1 or something like that, right?
She had the bikini on?
Yeah, no, she came walking out like toward the end of the episode with it. I remember.
Is it in the opening credits too? I think it's in the opening credits, right?
Maybe. I mean, it'd be smart to have it in there. Why can't I find it? It should be the first thing that comes up.
I thought I saw.
I remember walking to
this isn't it, but
mall, going into a music store, bypassing all of the music, going to the poster rack, and somebody was good enough to have already. You remember, guys, those sliding poster frames? They were around in a circle.
Oh yeah.
Move them around so you could see all the different posters unrolled. And every time I went into
let me go back over. This
store,
isn't the swimsuit he's talking about, but this is one swimsuit one.
Yeah,
those might be natural. Look at that.
I think they are, dude. I think they are. Actually,
right.
My wife gave me a lesson in how to spot fake ones. That's pretty interesting.
When they defy gravity, like those ones?
Yeah, well, she said, you see how it's poking out the side of the shirt or the side of the bikini like that? I was like, oh, okay, I get it now. So I'm a professional spotter of fake boobs now.
All right.
Yeah, that's not the poster, but it's definitely it gives you an idea of what the best-selling poster might have looked like.
Yeah, and the other one that was real popular, the poster saw there's her in this bikini, but in this swimsuit, I think. No, it's not. It's not this one.
No,
here it is. Boom, there it is. I found it.
That's the opening. Yeah.
Yeah. Boom.
That's the opening. Yeah, in the show.
I remember that.
That's how you tell a TV show, right there.
Yeah, those are all natural for damn sure, dude.
Those are real.
Yeah. Beautiful girl. And I was the exact perfect age when that show came out. Yeah.
Were you the TJ or the hooker? I just like saying it. I could get away with saying TJ, and I could get away with saying hooker around the house.
Oh, there you go. Okay, TJ Hooker. That's Heather Locklear, though. That's not Heather Thomas. But Heather, another really popular poster was the Olivia Newton-John physical poster that came in the album, right?
She never did anything for me. She never did anything.
No, I only have in my whole life, I've had one female poster on my wall, and I was like 11 or 12, and it was Olivia Newton-John.
I had what is it, Linda Ronstadt, and I think somebody gave it to me.
Oh, mine was Elvira.
Ooh, that's a good one.
Even before that would have been Pippi Longstocking for some reason. A little German girl with the little buck teeth and the hair. Man,
the braids that went out like that.
I have, and my wife's a redhead like that. Like,
all right. Okay. Damn. Okay. Heather. Oh, Jesus.
Oh, there we go,
dude. There you go. Whew. Heather Locklear, man.
Wow. So Tommy had a thing for natural until he met what's her face?
Until he met Pamela Anderson.
Yeah. I guess that's why I keep thinking that, because he's a rocker, and the bigger the better. But he was a natural guy at first.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, she's a beauty. I mean, she's a true beauty for sure. The thing, it gets me these days. I don't know exactly what Hollywood's doing, but we don't see a lot of just raw beautiful women. They still put up some beautiful guys. You still see some beautiful guys, but they got something against putting beautiful women up anymore. I don't know what's going on. But she was beauty. The funny thing is, I wasn't joking about my wife teaching me what fake boobs look like, by the way. She actually did, and it was on a Modern Family episode. And she said, I think Claire's got fake boobs. I was like, no, why would she? They're so small. But she showed it. She clearly has fake boobs. And I don't understand. She must have been literally flat-chested, that actress. But instead of adding big, huge boobs, she put on pretty small, like A, B cup boobs. It's an interesting choice that she did get fake breasts, but she was very subtle about it.
Yeah, just to be a little bit more shapely, and she's getting some work done over the years, but I think she's doing it very gradual, so it's not drastic stuff. Yeah, that's the way to do it. Don't go the way of Meg Ryan.
No.
Oh no. God,
oh,
no.
Can anybody find a picture of Meg Ryan?
A modern one? Yeah, I can. Oh, God. The interesting thing about Meg Ryan, though, every time I went to go see a Meg Ryan movie throughout my life, I was always on a first date.
Yeah,
I don't know why.
It's a good first date. So Jason, have you seen Meg Ryan 2020?
I have not.
Well, this will be a treat for you.
Oh goodness! Awesome.
All the ones they got are younger Meg. She was such a cute girl, man. Oh, here we go. I found one. Holy crap, dude! She went alien on us, man. And this isn't even.
Oh, I can see it in the small little.
Oh, what the?
Right.
Yeah, she got a lot of work done, dude.
A little bit of work. Yep. It happens.
Yeah, I don't know. It
just like her neck is photoshopped, like the muscles in it. It's so weird. Looks like somebody dragged the blend tool.
Yeah.
I wonder if she has a ton of makeup, huh? You think that some of those lines maybe are partially drawn in there?
I don't know, maybe, but it's really a lot of women. They just can't grow old gracefully, and it's okay, right? I mean, it's okay. You can get old.
I think
you don't have to
probably would have aged like she would have been a cute older lady, kind of like
your grandma. Yeah.
What's her name? What's that White? What's her name?
Betty White.
Betty White, she just kind of aged gracefully, and she was a cute older woman. Yeah. But no.
Is it safe to look yet?
Yes, it is, Joe.
Okay.
Whew. He's using his hair to protect himself. Yeah.
That was scary.
It was scary, dude. Especially because she's such a cute girl.
Wait, Joe, you're not looking, right?
No, come on. That's not nice.
But the thing is, you see a lot of Hollywood ladies do this, and it's like, what are they thinking? Do you actually think you look better? Because I haven't seen a situation where they look better. They always look like they become some kind of alien or something.
Wait, you don't think looks better?
Oh, come on, no, dude. Man.
It's another thing. They're just surrounded by yes men or yes women.
Right.
So they go and they get the work done, and then they're like, oh, you look, decades younger, and that's all they hear in their ears. They're in that little echo chamber,
It's potentially she used the same doctor as Mickey Rourke.
Oh my God, yes, that's exactly true.
Good call.
And Mickey Rourke, I mean, what a tragedy, dude. No, I got to show that now.
Hold on, tragedy, but the guy's taken more fists to the face than almost any other actor. So I'm down with that.
That is true.
To the face with the plastic surgery, though, he should have known. Holy crap! You talk about a really bad move. Displaced plastic surgery with a couple fists. Yeah, that's pretty crazy. And who's the other one? She was married to, she's married.
Randy Quaid? No, not Randy Quaid.
Maybe Antonio Banderas. What was her name?
Melanie Griffith.
Yeah,
Melanie Griffith. Yeah, that's another one. Yeah.
Yeah.
But here you go. Oh, damn it. All right, hold on. Let me do it again. Yeah.
Dude, Cherry 3000 with Melanie Griffith.
Oh, yeah. Right. And this isn't even really bad. I just chose it because of the comparison, because he was a beautiful man for sure.
Yeah.
But
pretty guy.
He went and tore himself up, and you're right. It's those cheek dimples that have really become exaggerated, right?
Yeah.
Wow. That's terrible.
And that weird unnatural fold that's coming from his eyes across his
Forehead.
Side of his head, yeah. That's weird, man. That is some weird.
Yeah.
You'd never recognize. You couldn't draw the conclusion if you saw the younger and the older self. You'd never know it was the same person.
And he was the character in Sin City, wasn't he?
Yes.
Yeah, he was great at that.
Marv.
He was Marv.
He just kept that prosthetics on.
Yeah, it was cool, dude.
He looked
the
better
perfect
in
Marv.
real life.
Yeah.
Yeah, at least he looked like a badass in that.
Yeah.
Harley
liked
Davidson
him
and the Marlboro Man with Don Johnson. Now, Don Johnson, there's another guy that's gotten older gracefully, though. He's a pretty boy when he was younger, but he hasn't done any of that nonsense.
Yeah. Melanie Griffith. Can we find Melanie Griffith?
I can.
Oh.
There was a movie called Milk Money, and I remember the movie company asking permission to use a black and white poster in that kid's room. So there's actually the black and white retail poster that's up on his wall.
Nice.
That kid was Kevin Youkilis, who played for the Red Sox.
That kid was trying to sell, like he was trying to buy a hooker for his dad, right? Wasn't she? Because she was a call girl, right? And then she slept up in his treehouse.
Yes, I remember this now. Oh my God.
Yeah, Hollywood is a weird place, man. And it was supposed to be innocent. Like, it's just a kid being innocent, right? I'm going to buy a hooker for my dad. Okay, this is Melanie Griffith here. Yeah, well,
It's her plus years old. Are you kidding? That's pretty good.
That's not bad.
That's not bad, yeah. That's not bad. I don't know how old she is here, but, several of us here are older guys. But I know my wife still got her, though.
I thought she had some, like, funky lip stuff done or something like that.
Maybe. Let me go. She just might have been a Botox in a moment.
Yeah, she sucked on a tailpipe or something.
Let me. Oh my God, you're right. Jesus, woman.
Yeah, she has blowfish lips.
Hootie.
What the hell are you doing? My God.
Oh, wait a minute.
My God, dude.
She's even.
Jesus, lady. It's. That's too
No
bad.
duck face. No duck face.
No, well, from looking at the previous picture, she's definitely in her 60s in that picture. She looks good, man, in the bikini and stuff. She's not a bad-looking old lady. Right here, you just messing yourself up. I mean, she's probably in her 70s here. But, I mean, come on.
There's no way she's 70.
I don't know. Let me check.
No, I think she's in her mid-60s is where I think she's at.
Yeah.
Or young 60s.
Her young 60s. I think the plastic surgery is doing its work, Jason. We just can't define her age anymore. She's 80.
Right.
Yeah.
That's right. Same way
she's
cigarettes
63.
and drugs did it to me.
Holy crap, dude. She looks like she's in her late 70s, but she's only 63. See?
Right.
See now.
That's not bad, dude. Like 63. Well, I guess there's better, I suppose. I mean, if we're looking at like, that's not bad for 63. Are you kidding? Like, there's some that fall. I can walk into my 25th high school or 30th high school reunion, and I guarantee I still have my hair.
Yeah.
So, but I know that most of the people in there aren't, and they're gonna have a few pounds on them, and
sure,
it's just what it is, man. So that business is really hard. I feel terrible for people who have to live up to it and make a living with their face. Yeah.
Well, I don't blame them at all. I think it's weird when people in the private sector that don't make a living, with their face or their bodies or anything like that do some crazy ass shit. You see them sometimes, and you're like, who are you trying to prove, man? Who are you trying to? Yeah.
When I started seeing those faces at the grocery store, I knew we had a problem.
Yeah. No, I agree. I get it. I mean, Hollywood is particularly rough on women. I understand their angst, but it's like, you really would be much better off not cutting up your face like that. I mean, a little bit of the face pull, whatever they call it, a tuck or whatever it is, maybe, but even that doesn't work. I mean, but because it makes you look stressed all the time, right?
I think the worst is the lip stuff, man.
Yeah,
That's
it's the Botox.
Yeah, the Botox stuff.
Yeah. Well, luckily, I don't have to worry about that at all because I haven't seen that in Japan ever.
Well, Asian women, they defy their age. I mean, it's incredible.
Yes. I was a very lucky boy, Art. I met my wife's mother for the first time 25 years ago. And 25 years ago.
And you proposed to her.
No, I didn't. But she's 80 now, and that woman looks better than any of the women you just put up. It's freaking hottie, dude. And I was like, yes.
Hey, Chester, do you have a picture of her?
Of my wife or my
mother-in-law? Put your mother-in-law.
Your mother-in-law.
If I did either, there would be someone running behind me with a baseball bat to, liberally pound me about the head and shoulders.
Jason knows the other story about a famous family member.
Oh, you have a famous family member? Who?
He's got a famous cousin.
Oh, me? No, don't even listen to him, Jason. They're idiots, all of them.
No. We got to tell him.
No, don't listen. No, he doesn't need to know.
I think it needs to come from you, Chester.
No, it doesn't. I'm not saying anything. My
okay. I'll go first. I was briefly related to by my grandmother's cousin was related to Dennis Hopper back right after Easy Rider. So she was married to him, and. Yeah, that's about as close as I've ever been to anything like that. Or I think my great-great-great-grandfather was Devil Anse Hatfield. That's about my only claim to fame is Hatfield's McCoys. And
I see the resemblance. It works.
Yeah, I look like Devil Anderson.
Yeah. Well, what they're talking about is I'm actually related to a couple of famous people. One of them is Hugh O'Brien, and most people don't know him these days, but he was a kind of a character actor back in the day. And the other person by marriage, like yourself, with Dennis Hopper, I am related to Abraham Lincoln.
Oh, nice. No,
there's a more shapely.
And Abraham Lincoln's the big one. That's the big one.
Shapely family member that you, I think you accidentally or on purpose, maybe you were bragging on one of these.
No, excuse me, I wasn't doing it all. You people were showing stuff off, and I was like, excuse me, point of order, please show a little respect to my family member. So no.
So I think her first name was Jennifer.
God damn it.
Mm-hmm.
Jennifer Flowers?
No, that would be great.
think Labyrinth.
Oh, Jennifer Connelly.
That's the one.
My mother's maiden name is Connelly.
Kissing.
It is an enormous family, though. It's an enormous family.
That's amazing.
Okay, Jason, on this program, we started showing Jennifer Connelly shots. And before we knew it, we were banned from YouTube.
Yeah, no double-ended dildo shots. Stop it.
No, they don't like that. They don't like it. They were just trying to embarrass me. That's what it was.
It was nuked. There was no nothing. It was obliterated. There's no trace.
Oh my God. Yeah. That's crazy. That's super crazy. Oh, I remembered one more thing. My grandmother's cousin is Conchita Farrell. Conchita Farrell was 2.5 Men. Do you remember the redhead, the heavyset redhead on 2.5 Men? That took care of Charlie? Yeah, that's Conchita Farrell. So I'm related directly to her.
She's fine.
She looks just like my grandmother. It's amazing. Every time I see her, my grandmother passed away a few years ago, but every time I see Conchita Farrell, I think of my grandma. And she talks like my grandma. Her lips and the way she pierces her lips are just like my grandma. It's so amazing.
Yeah, I love that. I mean, she cracks me up on that show. I've seen her every scene she's in, because she's a character actress. Every scene she's ever been in, like, she just steals the show. Yeah,
she
awesome.
Sure does.
I thought
she was on True Romance.
Character. Yeah, she was the best character in that show.
Right. Yeah, she was in True Romance too. I loved her in that as the one of the, I guess, people take it. Oh, Shatner was in there too. Wasn't he doing a TJ Hooker like thing? One of the characters in True Romance was going to go on TJ Hooker, and Conchita Farrell was the one that was doing the whole interview and type stuff. Now that we've made full circle, William Shatner.
Oh man, you brought it all together, man. This should be a game show.
Yeah, it should be.
That's right.
That's pretty good.
Yeah. So we should wrap this up. We had a lot of fun sharing some of these Indiegogos with you guys. Go back, Hammer. It looks great. We had Charlie Schnugens on, and he has his new Indiegogo Fatal with Clint Stoker. That looks amazing as well. I do believe Jason is, this is more pressing because you have 11 days, right?
Correct. 11 days till the end of the campaign. I've done my 60, and it'll go in demand after that. And I can only push it off for so long until I have to cash out and print stuff. Make sure it goes.
It also might be picked up in heavy metal, right? You said?
Right. I am having conversations with one of the editors at Heavy Metal through a friend of mine. And we're looking into it. We don't know what's going to happen. They're just relaunching everything to do all the Tarna stuff. And, I was asked to kind of draw a cover of her, but I haven't had a chance to get to it and try to kind of figure out if I could even do one good enough to don on any type of magazine.
She was the lead character in the cartoon show, right? She was the framing device. She rode she was like the Mobius character that rode the
Azarak. Yeah. She rode the Azarak.
So so they asked you to draw that character? That'd be awesome.
So, well, they said, hey, why don't you draw something and send it to us and we'll see. And I was like, okay, when I get a minute, I'll do it. But I've been busy with Hammer. Since I started doing this like 50 days ago, I've had people come out of the woodwork to ask me for work, which is surprising. So I thought Hammer would, get good sales, but I didn't think it would get me jobs also.
It's good looking work, man, Jason. Your work is really, really great. So I can see that happening. And I'd like to see more independent stuff with Comicsgate, more of your Indiegogo stuff, because I think that's where the future of comics is. The other stuff is fun, but I really do think crowdfunding, Comicsgate, this is where the industry is going. I think I read an article where they were talking about just commerce in general, like brick and mortar shops, just across the board. The businesses that are doing well are direct-to-consumer businesses now, not retail outlets. So I do think that we're slightly ahead of the curve right now. So I do believe where it's at in comics. I've been doing this almost 40 years now, and I've seen a lot of trends, and I think this is the place to be right now. That's why I'm here, man, because there's some cool shit happening, and I do think the most interesting stuff in this industry is what we are doing right now. So, and I think the fan base is here, the support is here. So, and also, is this your first crowdfund, Jason?
It is. It is my first crowdfund. I actually pushed it ahead. I was going to push it off till like September, but this whole crazy pandemic, and so I kind of had to jump full force in. I kind of feel like I wasn't ready. I should have taken emails. I should have set up the campaign like 2 months earlier so that I could have collected a lot of emails, and I think I'd be doing a lot better now if I had done my due diligence before launching the campaign. So I'm kind of making up for it now.
Well, don't beat yourself up, because it is there is a major learning curve. And also, the way the campaigns work is once you fulfill this and you show people that you're reliable and that they can count on your product, it'll keep building. So don't get discouraged, and your next one will do better, and then the next one, and so on and so on. So it really is kind of building a reputation. And even somebody like, I thought it would be a little easier for myself, but the thing is, I have like, I'm almost like a stereotyped, right, into like a certain thing, like mainstream comics, but I don't really have a voice in the independents. So it is almost like starting over for even somebody like me, where I feel like I have to kind of rebrand myself. I have to show that, you know, I can get the work done. I can create independent projects that are interesting, you know, and that I can fulfill these things. And it's a lot different than, you know, work for hire type of stuff that I've done in the past. And I think that's a different kind of crowd as well. Some of them are mainstream and we're bringing them over, but a lot of them are just like fans of crowdfund and comics in general, not necessarily mainstream. So right. I do think that exposure, like stuff like we're doing right now with you and your book, and then putting out the next campaign, I see things just moving up for you, man, because the work is incredible. It really is.
Thank you. Thank you all so much. You don't even know how much of a confidence booster it is. So
you're getting the thumbs up, man, from
book
the
looks good.
Thank you all. Thank you all so much.
And I got to talk to you about possibly getting some sculpture work done, because I think you have a chance to hit a niche market that hasn't quite been tapped into. So I would like to talk to you a little bit off air and brainstorm a little bit with you on that, because I think that's something to think about as well. Like even because the thing is, what I was thinking about with this crowdfund is we can start with comics, but even like what Ethan Skyver's doing, we can branch out on toys. We can do animated shorts. We can do we can do games, video games. We can do all these things. And if we can kind of keep building our voice as far as comics gain in this independent market, then maybe we'll be able to, like one-off designs, small, resin casts of sculptures, things like that I think would be incredible, man. I think that would be amazing. I've done some stuff like that in the past, but never like mass-produced, stuff. So I think that would be a lot of fun to do. So we usually get a parting shot. So let me get a parting shot from Joe. What's up, Joe?
Yeah, I'd just like to encourage everybody, if you haven't already, check out Hammer on Indiegogo, as well as Fatal. I think we mentioned earlier that Hammer's got about a week and a half left in its campaign. Fatal just launched yesterday, I believe. So check out those campaigns, and if you see something you like, feel free to back it.
Definitely. And how about you, Zach?
See, my parting shot would go out to probably Fatal.
Really? What about Florida Man?
Well, that's why you're here, Todd. You can talk about Florida Man. It's your baby. You can talk about Florida Man. Huh?
All right.
I told you he's a bastard.
While we have Zach, I can show off some of Zach's work here. Hold on. How do I do this? I do it like this.
Watch out for that guy.
Look at that.
Yeah, that's nice. Very nice.
Love it.
Yeah, thank you so much, Zach. This card rocks. It's one of my favorite pieces here. And so then we have the 25th anniversary on the back.
Oh, that's cool.
Nice.
Yeah, this was for the Second Chance campaign. So this was for the pre-launch signups, and I think Jason was talking about that. So you guys always, when you see those pre-launch, sign up, because there's always some fun, cool giveaways that we give out. So thank you again, Zach. Did you have a pre-launch? Do you have a new campaign or?
No, I got nothing. My nothing.
I got nothing.
I literally have nothing. That's why I'm like, Like, go support CG, go support your favorite creators. I'm just enthralled with Fatal at the moment because I've been waiting, since really early when Clint started showing those early images. I was just like, when can I buy this? So,
yeah. I think Zach is behind every campaign except for Florida Man for some reason. I don't know.
Yeah, not that one.
Not that one. How about you, Chester? Well,
parting shots. Well, it's nice to see you guys again. It's been a while. I've been quite busy, but also if they keep doing the pontificators on this day, I'll just kind of swap out and not do my fan speak and come do this one. So we'll see how that works out in the future. But it's always fun to come on here and chat with you guys. If you are interested in some of the stuff we do over in fan speak, please come and check it out. We do have tomorrow at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We have the Drawn and Quarter Ultimate Edition, and we are doing Hammer Horror, baby. A little bit of Peter Cushing, Christopher Lee, some Bela Lugosi, I'm sure. It's going to be really nice, and we got some killer artists, so don't miss it. You can find that either on www.fanspeak.live, or you can go to Chester Busby on YouTube.
Yes, and Todd, your parting shot, and just so everybody knows, there is a Florida Man link in the description, so much love for Florida Man, Todd. So
yeah, I just want to always promote and say that stop looking for the mainstream comics. Start looking around at Kickstarter and Indiegogo. Find some things you like and get invested in it, because we're giving you more. It's really not it's about the book, but yet it's also about more, right? It's about engagement. It's about getting to know somebody. It's about being part of the book. I got 30 people to put into the wrestling scene, so just get out there and support CG and support other independent comics, and go check out Florida Man. Watch the video, decide based on what you see if you want to pick it up, but go check it out. At least watch the video.
Yes, definitely, and so
you got a super chat, by the way.
Yeah, I saw that. I'm grabbing some stuff here. See if I can. Okay. We got Alfred McKay. Thank you so much, Alfred McKay, for the super sticker. $1.99. Do appreciate that. Thank you, my brother from another mother, which is Alfred McKay. Yes. And I do have an Indiegogo as well. It's in demand. It's been there for a while. It's called Chrono Mechanics. This is, let me do this. Here we go. Here's the book right here.
Nice.
So we're still waiting to get the final shipment from the printers. And once we do, this book will be going into fulfillment. Here's one of the variants. So this one's done by Sean Cheeks Galloway.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah. Really, really talented guy. And while I got you guys here, we just got these just before the Pontificators. Just before we went live, UPS dropped these off. So if there's anybody that backed the black and white second chance, this is the oversized poster print. This thing is massive. So we just got these in. So the wind's blowing it, the fan's blowing it a little bit. There we go.
Yeah, so nice.
It's so big. I can't.
Thanks, dope.
Yeah, it's so big. I can't get the whole thing. There we go. I'll scan it slowly. Here we go.
Very nice.
Yeah, so those are going to be going out soon, you guys. So anybody who backed a poster tier, those books with poster will be going out ASAP. So thank you to everybody who's backed Chrono Mechanics. Thank you to everybody that has backed the Black and White Second Chance campaign. And remember, Jason's 11 days away, so go back hammer. So thanks to everybody, all my Pontificator brothers. It's been good hanging out with you, Jason. Thanks to Charlie Schnogens for coming in and hanging out early on. And we'll do this next week with you guys. And it's good to have you back, Chester.
Training today by emphasizing the consequences of failure to report.
All right, guys. Take care.